in general. Like, you don't talk to people in depth like that on a day-to-day basis, even in like your acquaintances. So it's like, yeah.
That's actually the better of being one of Arian's top 5 white people. It's if somebody ever says, "Oh, I have a black friend," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, my black friend, Arian Foster." Yeah. And he said I'm one of his top 5 white people. So
I'm in the top 5.
Welcome back, Macrodosians, new listeners, old listeners, young listeners, about to die listeners, about not to die listeners. That's a little too much. I apologize.
Jimmy Carter.
He might be on.
Still going strong.
On either side of that fence. We don't know, man. Shout out to Jimmy C, man. But welcome back, man. I'm hosting today. PFT is out doing whack shit. And so it's just the fellas and the ladies today.
Didn't tell us either till last night.
That's true. I kind of just
Yeah, he told me yesterday. And he said I could talk while I do this puzzle.
Oh,
okay.
Explain the.
That wasn't a dispute, but
it wasn't.
There was
lying
quite a bit
in
of
the group chat
this morning.
He was lying in the group chat.
Did
then
you?
He was like, "Oh, I'm just messing with you guys."
Tell everyone what you did. Tell everyone.
I
what
almost
you did.
went home. I almost went home.
Talking to him like a child.
He got so mad that PFT was joking around with him.
He's not joking. It's not like you can't.
Well, he admitted that he was lying
after, but when he was actively lying, I was like, I'm like.
And
this
then you
is
tried
ridiculous.
to change your flight and go home.
Because I was just like, this is. It got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? This trip has been pretty nuts.
You were mad online.
I was mad online. But it was a group chat.
Because you lost the combine,
which
you're not allowed to talk about.
Because it's good we can't talk about it because it's
we can.
A total
you
sham.
can't.
I mean, no.
That is part of it. Okay, matter of fact, let's start the show out with that, and then we can go into Billy's intervention about his anger.
Start your puzzle.
All right,
start
your puzzle.
Billy's
Tell everybody
doing
what puzzle you're doing.
This puzzle is the Democratic Club. We got.
It actually looks kind of sick.
I'm gonna be honest. This is like, I would love to chill with these fellas, dude. JFK.
Some of them.
JFK,
take a picture and send it to the.
I can send you the link. You guys, if you want it, you can find it on Amazon.
We got FDR, Bill Clinton. We got our guy. What the hell's his name?
He doesn't remember the black
blank?
guy's name.
No, Obama's there. Obama's there. But I literally, we were just talking about Jimmy Carter, and then we got Lyndon B. Johnson may have killed Kennedy, so like kind of skeptical about him. I think that's Woodrow Wilson.
What?
I
haven't heard this one.
We talked about it the other day. There was another foundation that he was a part of that got him killed. So actually, I was looking up this JFK conspiracy last night. The CIA may have killed Kennedy not because of the Bay of Pigs, not because he was making reforms. It wasn't the mob, but that because of the Cuban Missile Crisis, he had opened up a direct line of communication with, I think it was Khrushchev. Who was the Russian president during JFK? Khrushchev, yes. So they had just basically were like, holy shit, like we are the ones responsible for not blowing up the world right now. Let's just start talking as men so we can just deal with this outside of intelligence communications. So they're like, holy shit, like JFK is bypassing our whole intelligence operation. We need to take him out because, you know, we can't have him messing up our stuff because he wants to have private conversations with Khrushchev, which was, it's a great angle. Also, turns out Marilyn Monroe's body went missing after her death for like a day.
Yo, this is way too much for me to unpack. You just said a whole lot of shit.
I know. I'm sorry.
I was stuck on the LBJ was the mastermind behind JFK's killing.
Yeah.
So I typed it in.
Start doing your puzzle.
I'm going to get to the puzzle, but let's name the rest of the guys. Who's that guy?
I can't say.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, I got to say.
We got Old Hickory.
Yeah,
Andrew Jackson.
Shout out Old Hickory, Tennessee.
Honestly, everyone probably does not like Andrew Jackson from the left. He's canceled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trail of Tears.
Why is that? Why is Andrew Jackson?
He was just
he was bad to the Native Americans.
He did adopt a Native American.
That's good.
That was par for the course back there. What y'all talking about? If we canceling him, yo, all the
well, you're 100% correct, but I mean that's what happens now.
I'm cool.
Honestly,
with it.
I
Fuck all
think
that.
if we're gonna do that, we should just go all the way back in history. I want to see
do it.
Italians paying the English reparations for Rome invading the British Isles. That'd be funny.
Totally.
Let's do it.
Also,
Let's do the whole
low key, Italians kind of get away with a lot. Like they kind of were right
Okay.
there with Germany.
Billy, Italian racism was
People
cool.
don't talk
People
about
don't talk
that.
about the Italians in World War II. They went all
Mussolini.
pizza, pasta, you know.
Their delicious
Remember-
treats have clouded
Yes.
the judgment of
Yes.
history.
You know, oh, so Tony Soprano.
Yep,
Yo, like,
yep.
yeah, you know, hey, what about
I'm keeping it being. I don't
Mussolini?
know. That's not my bag. World War II is not my history bag, man. Can y'all fill me in on the Italians?
I mean, they had a guy who was one notch below Hitler.
Like he was doing fascism harder than Hitler.
Mussolini?
Yeah,
Hitler kind of copied Mussolini's swag.
a little bit.
He was no, honestly, the Mussolini. Like, look, they were under. I don't blame the Italian people. They were under a fascist regime, just like you know they were. There was people who were complicit, but not the whole population. But you know, people and the Finns, low key, the Finnish were they were getting a little finny.
With that said, however, pizza is so delicious that it probably should get you some points.
Does that get them absolved from their?
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
And they might have found a UFO and given it to the Pope, and then the Nazis, which developed
Alright.
their
Alright.
June bug
Okay.
bombs.
All right.
That-
okay.
I'm
Although I
looking
think
into that.
pizza was actually originally Greek. I'm not.
Well, it's technically based off of Middle Eastern cuisine. Oh, you know what's really fucking crazy? Pasta is fucking from Asia. It's noodles.
Yo, did you have like caffeine or something this morning? Like you are on all
I think
cylinders
he
right now.
exists
It's
in
been-
a state of
you-
caffeine.
You have fired off maybe 17 conspiracy theories in a row right now that I can't even
Okay,
begin to
so I'm staying in a hotel,
unpack.
right? And when
Totally.
we're staying alone in a hotel room, like I'm just alone with my thoughts. Usually I have like when I'm at home and like, you know, I have my dog to talk to. I have my hedgehog to talk to. Hedgehog's sick, by the way.
Aw.
You're
yeah.
still alone in both of those things that you said, bro. They don't talk back.
They do when you take enough mushrooms. But when you're moving on, like,
you don't take me as a mushroom taker.
well, I need no, that was a joke.
Lion's mane. Lion's mane.
Lion's mane. No, but I'm alone with my own thoughts in a hotel room, and you know, like, what am I gonna like? I had dinner with Mitzi last night. Great dude. You know, we used to be roommates, so he's settled down great in Chicago. Just talking through some stuff. And so then after dinner with Mitzi, I just like went back to my hotel, and it's just like, well, you
After
know,
dinner mints, you could say.
after dinner mints, yeah. I'm just sitting there in my hotel room
why does that
alone,
sound so
and like
familiar?
it's a Tuesday night, so I'm not gonna try to, you know, it's a work night, so I'm just sitting there, just alone with my thoughts and the internet, and just like, you know, I take a lot of notes for this podcast sometimes, that like mental notes, and then in my note, like whenever I find something interesting, I always write it down and try to bring it up, you know, on the podcast. I'm constantly like thinking of cool stuff. So those were a couple of them.
Of the things Billy could be doing in his hotel room, this is one of the best. So
Yeah,
let's
you
not
know,
discourage that.
Yes.
No, I'm with that.
Mhm.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. Although unfiltered internet usage may be your downfall, but nonetheless, we appreciate your service, Billy.
Oh, thank you. And then, you know,
Yeah.
researching for a topic. and
Are you
stuff.
stalling, bro? Get busy on your puzzle.
I'm getting my puzzle. So I actually done.
And
a
somebody
bunch of
send me the
puzzles.
link of the puzzle.
I will.
I want to see the okay. So while he's doing his puzzle, which is fucking hilarious, dog. Like he's like, we put him in timeout, and he has
550 pieces.
It said the average time to solve a 500-piece puzzle is 2 to 7 hours. So even if he's good, it's going to take the whole show.
We're gonna have to sort them into color coding,
And
That's
it's
the
looking
first.
like a lot.
We're not gonna have to do anything.
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
No, I'm just
So,
reciting
are
puzzle
it's
strategy.
puzzle time, Billy. Billy, it's puzzle time for you.
I can still talk.
Oh wait, oh yeah. I'm mad. He made
I
that
think you got to
puzzle
put
today.
20 pieces together before you can interject yourself.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
We're
How
not
about- how
just
about
making
the
arbitrary
border?
rules.
Well,
The border. When you
Let-
finish the border, you may speak. How about that?
let's
No,
see some
dude, what-
progress.
Why are we
Yeah.
just making up shit right now? It's like
'Cause
so
that's
annoying.
what-
We had an agreement.
Well, the
PFT
agreement
had
was
these-
that you don't talk
No, that
Yeah.
wasn't. PFT was like, yo,
It was the agreement until PFT realized he wouldn't be
until
here
P
today.
left
Also-
soft on crime. P left T
it's not soft.
decided.
He didn't know he was gonna be here. So you know, like that's not his fault. He's got a
So we
busy schedule.
compromised, and I was not involved in this compromise. So I say, my vote is, at least finish one border before.
It's gonna take a long time, guys.
All right, 20
What time is your flight home?
My flight home is 7.
Oh,
15
no.
15 pieces. 15 pieces.
What happens if you leave here with it not completed?
I don't know. I didn't.
I would
I
try to
need to-
complete it.
I'm going home. You're not keeping me here.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just saying I would complete it.
I'm going to try.
Democratic
And
Club.
also,
Whose idea was this, yo?
I don't know. Like this doesn't like the Democratic Club. It doesn't like.
Are
get
they
me
playing
mad.
poker? What are they doing?
The presidents are cool. Oh, we should make a photo of us like in this type of like those
The
pool.
big dogs?
Yeah, the big dogs. Oh, actually, we've done that already. But like in this style, like honestly, I was at this club the other day, and there was all these pictures of dudes playing pool and poker on the wall, and then like just a bunch of like 4 of the fellas that go there all the time, they made their own and put it on the wall. So like they had like dogs, they had presidents, they had just like old chillers, like mafia movies. Like you could tell that each group was like famous, but then you had this one group just there on the wall, and it's like, oh, who are these guys? They're like, oh, they just came here so much that we made them their own. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Just like the fellas being like, hey, we should just get our painting up there of us all chilling.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. Somebody work on that.
Hanging out with Obama and Clinton would be pretty cool.
Crazy.
I don't know about Clinton. Clinton don't really strike me like Obama seemed cool, but I don't know about Clinton.
No,
man. Hold on.
Bill
Have
parties.
we absolved him of the Epstein shit yet?
No, they killed
I
Epstein
don't know
for that
anything
reason.
about that. That is
I
not.
thought he was like, yeah, it's him. It was him.
Probably. I mean, they probably allegedly might have killed people too. But it seems like if you're having a poker night, Willie Jeff might be a good time.
I've never really been into poker like that. But listen, while he's starting his puzzle, can we fill me in on the Barstool Combine? Because I caught a couple of clips on social media. Are we in the know, Big T?
You're asking if I am in
Yeah.
the know?
Are
Yeah,
you
I
in
was
the know?
there.
Okay. Well, fill me in.
So there were 2 groups of each, like 12 people, I think. The top 5 from each group advanced to the final. So Billy did advance, I believe, by like the skin of his teeth. I think he was 5th.
No, that's not
You're
true.
not allowed to talk about the combine.
I was 3rd.
So wasn't first though in his group. He also said 50 bench reps or die, and I believe he got 39.
I got 40.
What was the weight?
135.
Oh, I thought y'all was doing 225.
I thought I was going to do 225 too. Honestly,
Oh,
225.
Talking about the combine. Dude.
This is ridiculous rules that are
How's it
stupid.
ridiculous? Those were the rules.
Billy said he actually would have done more if it was 225. It's that it was too light. That's why he didn't get to 50. So he advanced to the finals, and the final was like a Barstool trivia contest.
A Wonderlick.
Well, right, but
Okay.
it wasn't the Wonderlick. It was like a Barstool trivia thing.
Okay.
And so the last, like, they got down to the last question, which was basically a back and forth between, there were 3 or 4 people left. You just had to name any show that had ever existed at Barstool. So a back and forth, like a, kind of like the dozen, like bonus
Right.
categories. And Billy, so they got down.
You didn't tell the first part
What's the first part?
about how before we got into the final round.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I am going to let you explain what you're referencing.
No, basically
That Billy also had a mental break there.
No, the combine was fun. I honestly, looking back, it was very fun, and I'm like, it was a fun time. It was great to perform and compete. There was just I actually would like to apologize to the people out there for my behavior. No, I mean literally, I don't know what's I became a person that I don't that you don't really want to be. Sometimes I get super competitive. Honestly, it's helped me sometimes, but honestly, it makes me look like a complete asshole. And, you know, there's what, you know, I'm trying. We work every day to become better humans. I'm not like dismissing my actions, but I was a psychopath, and I did it all myself. I did this to myself. I was cranking so much pre-workout, you probably kill an elephant.
Billy, during the vertical, jumped up and smacked the pole so hard that it completely fell over, and then was like, Francis, why didn't you catch that?
I saw that part. I did see that. PFT sent me that jump. Why did you do that on purpose?
So I'm
keeping a beam with me.
I'm keeping a beam.
Did you slap it down on purpose?
So my shoulder
inner gyroscope just off.
No, my shoulder flexibility isn't like, I can't really raise my hand directly over my head. Like, I'm doing it a little right now, but like if I can't, like, my flexibility in my shoulders is bad. Like above my head, like screwing in a light bulb is like painful as fuck. So when they were reaching my arm up, it like, I can't really reach up over my head. So when I jumped up, I was aiming for the side, right, where you just hit it and it goes, but I hit the part because my shoulder couldn't get over, and I smacked it down. And then I was just so wound up because I was like, we were about to do like the bench, or we were doing another thing soon. And I don't know, just like I was totally out of control. But like, I got mad at Francis because I thought he was supposed to be holding it and he didn't hold it. And then I was like, there's big ass defensive linemen at the NFL Combine that hit these things, and like they literally smack them hard as hell too.
But I hit the
side by like, I
no,
wasn't.
You hit the bar that holds the little side thing.
Yeah. I was aiming for it, but I hit, like, I wasn't trying. Like, I just have bad shoulder flexibility.
Why
and
are you
I was
so unhinged, bro?
Dude, honestly,
there's deeper issues.
There
man.
is deeper issues because
talk to
are we
therapist Bobby, man.
We're doing therapy, man therapy
we
again.
Can do that, man. Why are you so unhinged, though?
Dude, I get wound up when I think people are fucking with me, just very easily.
Why does others' thoughts bother you in that capacity?
Well, no,
I think we all in general, like, don't like being talked about, right? Like, I don't, right? So like every now and then, like a dummy will go to my DMs and I'll shoot back. You know, I'm watching the game, I'm just chilling. I'll shoot back. I'll talk shit back. But like when I put the phone down, I don't think about these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's more like
Big T goes on blocking sprees. It happens, right? We care about what people say to a certain extent, but I think yours extends past the moment, and it like leaks into all the other shit.
No, it's more in person. Like, look, I'm not that person all the time. Like, I have other relationships. Like, it's very surprising to many of you. I have friends and family that care about me and have functional relations with. And they, my mom even reached out to me after the combine. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why are you doing this? Like, this is not like you. And I'm just like, I don't know. I get wound up. It's when you're like with your family, you have certain triggers, especially around like siblings who like know how to get under your skin, and you like, people don't act rationally about certain things because it's just like something that's, your family has a huge impact on your life. But like, when I'm in those situations, I don't know. It's more like, I think this is a me problem. I'm not saying that this is other people's faults. This is a me problem. I get sort of paranoid that people are trying to fuck with me, because if you guys, it does happen, and people should be allowed to fuck with me, right? But just since that, it's like, not that it's happened so much, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to come off like.
Listen, Billy. Listen. The reason why is because I think you need to start understanding how to not let people and what they say about you affect you. You need active practice at this. You need to start muting people. You need to start not looking at your social media, and you need to start bucking back when somebody at this company says something to you, but not in a crazy person way, in a rational way. Talk like human beings, and the majority of the time they'll treat you like human beings.
Can we just pretend I'm doing a puzzle and not talking?
That was the plan.
Here's my problem I'm having. Here's my problem.
But that's because then you get.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I can't like.
To me, it sounds like you want to change the narrative about Billy football, in which the monster that you created, right? But in order to do so, you got to be serious about the boundaries you draw, or else people are gonna continue to fuck with you. Because, like, how I'm supposed to know, like, the homie, if I'm joking on him all day and it's really hurting his feelings, and he never tells me, all of a sudden he's building resentment inside in his head about me when I'm just thinking we getting along. That's not fair for anybody, which is why non-communication causes wars. You got to talk, bro. You got to say, hey, bro, I'm not cool with that anymore, man. Like, have a conversation with somebody, just as a man. That's a boundary you got to draw, brother. That's what I teach my kids. If you don't like the way I'm doing something, if you don't like somebody doing something, you tell me. You tell them. Because you don't want to run around with that angst inside you, man. It's not good, brother. It's not good. But
finish how the combine ended from your perspective.
Okay. So basically, everyone got 3 strikes except me. But for some reason, we had to go straight to the elimination, because I think the thought process is that it would be great content to just do the naming, which I agree it's great content, but basically the one scenario happened that they didn't account for, which is one person not getting eliminated, and that happened. And for the sake of content, they continued and allowed everyone to stay in, and I got an extra out. But in the moment, I didn't understand that, and I flipped because I was like, holy shit, I'm getting robbed of $5,000. I got $500. I'm happy. But that, like, at least I didn't walk off, right? At least I didn't just like say I'm not doing this and leave, right?
Well, then you
I'm
would have
with you,
gotten
though.
Yeah, you
nothing.
stayed
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm with
so-
you, though. I hereby submit a formal protest about, and it's led by me. I don't even need your signature, Billy. I hereby submit a formal protest to the ongoings of the combine. I want to recount, and I want to see what happened. I'm calling these motherfuckers out. All of them. Hank, PFT, I'm calling all you motherfuckers out. I want to see what happened, man. Somebody got to bang for my guy Billy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of comments right now saying stop the Billy hate. I'm gonna make those T-shirts. We need to make those T-shirts. Stop the Billy
I
hate.
appreciate
What kind of
that.
numbers you think you would have put up?
At y'all combine?
135. How many reps?
What was the winning one?
44.
I don't know if I could do 44 right now.
The thing was, I know this sounds like
Who did 44?
Will Compton.
No, Feidelberg.
No,
No,
yeah,
Feidelberg
42.
42. I did.
Oh, Will beat Feidelberg.
I did
okay.
40. Feidelberg did 42. Compton did 44.
Okay.
I could do 30 something right now. Like I haven't lifted weights for I don't know 7-8 years.
Yeah, Will also just retired like
Yeah.
2 years ago.
It's also cardio with that weight. So like it's like me saying it's too light. When it's 135, it's sort of just like how many times can you lift up your arms that way?
Nah, you bugging.
No. I mean,
You couldn't have done more than what you did though with 225.
no. Yeah, no. That's like, but compared to 225 in the combine, right? Like if we had done 225 for reps, I may have been able to outperform some people that beat me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you were saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just from that angle, like it gets to a point where it's not about strength; it's about cardiovascular and how much oxygen depletion in your muscles happens. Like, it's
But just take the L though.
no, I'm taking the L. I'm taking the L.
It's
But
what
it's
we
just
talking
it's
about,
an
man.
interesting
Now,
thought process.
You take your L's in a very like, yeah, but scientifically, just take the L. That's all good.
No, just it's an interesting.
I'd
angle.
have lost in the bench to y'all too.
What are
You would
your-
have won the 40.
Yeah, what would your 35-yard dash time be?
Right now, I don't even. There's no telling, man. I don't even know. What was the winning time?
Compton.
I
right?
mean, they were hand time, but there was like 3 7s and 3 8s.
3 7 and 3 8s.
3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 8s. 3 7 and 3 No, there weren't.
Well,
No,
it was
35.
35 yards, but even
35
so,
yards?
that's obviously not the real time.
It is weird
Yeah,
because
ain't
it
no
sounds
fucking
like
way.
Because that'd be like a 4.5.
yeah. Now
Bro,
that I'm
five
thinking about it.
yards is like maybe 0.5, 0.4, like at that because you at the end of your run,
Yeah.
right? So like it would only be faster. So you talking about guys running over there 4.3s and 4.4. No.
Yeah, no, they're not taking a full
Hell no.
second. So maybe it was a 30? Because it doesn't make sense. Because that
They
means
said it was 35. I would imagine it was probably shorter than that.
yeah.
Now they not
Which is even
nobody
more
over
embarrassing.
there is running a 35-yard dash in no 3.7, bro. Ain't no fucking way.
Honestly, yeah, because so it was a little longer than the length of the basketball court, and our basketball court is not 94 feet. It's probably 80, maybe 70, 75. So I bet it wasn't
How many
even
yards?
35
How many yards is that?
Like less than 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
It was longer than the court, but I would bet it was not 35
But
yards.
I heard PFT beat your time in the.
Yeah. He's faster than
That
me.
surprised me. That surprised me. And his vert too.
Yeah,
PFT
man.
won the whole combine.
PFT won
You won the whole
comp.
shit?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
His vertical was crazy. Like he was hopping.
Well,
like
the vertical was the most cockamamie of the things we had going on.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
The way they were measuring that was insane, and I know that was not up to par.
especially the second round because Francis was doing it, not like the actual.
Yeah,
NFL
that was
guy.
not being implemented properly. But I mean, I guess it was relatively the same for everyone. It was at PFT. It started at PFT's neck. It was crazy.
Oh, so there was some home cooking with that one too.
I think
There was a lot of home
I
cooking.
think Francis was like doing his best to make it even for everyone, but I just don't.
Y'all should
it
have
looked
had me
off.
out there reffing that shit. That's the issue.
We should have
Y'all
had
shoulda
you.
had me
Should
out
have been
there
in it.
reffing that shit.
Should have. Yeah, you should have
Yeah.
competed.
Sure, no sure, no sure. There's no what good would that do? Just dust everybody at Barstool off.
Well, Will
The only
Compton
thing I
needed
will
some
do
competition.
that. I'd have dusted. Stop.
Who
it,
had more to
actually.
lose, Billy? Who would have more to lose? You or
Exactly.
Arian?
Yeah.
What I will dust every Barstool playoff in is basketball though. I'm okay with dusting everybody off over there.
Yeah, there's no
Gotta check the
basketball in
tape,
it.
man.
Yeah, a basketball tournament. I'm okay with that.
That will happen eventually.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I did win the L drill though.
I saw that too.
7 seconds.
The
Was
Wonder
that,
like
was that
Which is-
legit too?
That was legit. The yardage and spacing, because I remember doing it in high school so much. I think I definitely broke 7 in high school, but that was a pretty good time. So
I don't even remember what
I'm actually pleased with the whole performance. Like looking back, like I went back and I actually timed the 30 yarder like by myself, and I was like, okay, like I got some good numbers.
the Wonderlic would have killed Arian.
Oh,
What
for
was
sure.
what was the question?
It was just naming. It was just random ones, but then it was naming Barstool franchises until there was one person left.
Oh, so it was like a trivia joint.
It was just
Yeah.
like name.
It was mostly Barstool related questions.
Yeah, it was like just
adjacent.
name. The final was just name as many Barstool brands and franchises as you can until someone gets one wrong or
Someone
repeats.
repeats. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not,
And
not
that's-
my bag right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be where you'd get beat because
Definitely not.
PFT had some deep cuts.
He did.
What does that mean?
Like he,
Like shows that nobody else would have thought of.
yeah.
Like some
How many,
throwbacks.
there's been a whole bunch of shows like that.
Oh, I mean,
many.
hundreds.
oh, so many, dude.
It was shows and brands.
Brands and franchises.
and
yeah.
franchise. Yeah.
So it was like Saturdays are for the boys. It was,
My homeboy found a head cover to his golf club that said Sundays are for the boys.
Sundays.
Yeah, because it's golf. Or maybe it's weekends for the boys or something like that.
I don't know if that's.
Probably.
It's
But,
probably not
you know,
golf.
no, it was a Barstool. It had a Barstool logo on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he found one and that's what he uses. I think to cover his hybrid or some shit.
Hell
like
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, like it was like just all of these shows that don't exist anymore that PFT was rattling off. That'd be your downfall. But
that. No,
I would have put an ear for you. I would have named shit.
I'd have had fun with the ref portion.
That'd be
That'd
funny.
have been fun.
Yeah.
Next time.
You
Yeah.
and Nick Terani hosted the finals. You could have done it with him.
That's my fucking. This motherfucker is so funny, dog. I don't think I just like. So I went to the Barstool comedy show, right? And listen, when I was injured, I I had back surgery in Los Angeles, and I had Achilles surgery in Los Angeles. And I had rehab, so I stayed out, and plus I got family out there, right? So like one of my hobbies used to be going to the comedy show all the time. I used to go to comedy show all the time, and like I'm talking about the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory. I was just like I would go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I love comedy. It's one of my favorite things. It's an art form that is just one of my favorite things in the world. And so I went to the Barstool Combine. Everybody was doing their thing, but Nick Turaney, dog, is, and I know I got this bromance with him, right? But that's like Nick Turaney's set could absolutely be like special worthy. Like he could absolutely tour with that shit. He could absolutely kill. Is he a comedian?
He does stand up.
Yeah,
I don't
think he
think
doesn't
okay.
like. I don't think it's like his favorite thing. Like I don't think he originally wanted to do it until they
Right.
were like, "No, you should do it," and he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Dog, like he is, his comedic timing, his setups, like he can actually do that shit for real. It was by and large the best set, and no disrespect to the actual comedians that were there, no disrespect, because there were actually comedians there. Like we're in the afterwards, I think at the end there was an actual comedian.
Yes,
there.
there was 2 like stand-up comedians.
Professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Serenity washed them. No disrespect. Again,
That is
no
true.
disrespect. But it was like, I mean, it wasn't even like my unbiased opinion. Like the crowd was just louder and funnier. Like it just is what it is. That motherfucker is talented. And I hope he pursues that, because that could be an actual. I don't know what is he? He's just like, what is he? Does he have a podcast there? He has a
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Shout out to Nick, man.
And he's on the yak.
he's
Yeah,
really
yeah, that's
good.
true.
Oh wait, breaking moves.
What?
Mitch McConnell to step down as Republican Senate leader in November.
Oh wow, that
Oh
means that.
shit.
November.
So
Part of me's not. That means somebody worse gonna come behind him.
He's
Someone older.
he's not running for re-election, or he's just stepping down as the leader.
It said stepping down as Republican Senate leader.
I mean, he's not doing what he's deteriorating mentally.
He's barely above Biden
Well,
in
that-
terms of
That means that the people who are like, oh, Mitch McConnell is acting dumb so that he doesn't get indicted on like corruption charges, like people have been saying that, and
He
that
go
just proves,
straight to the conspiracies.
yeah, no, that was a left wing conspiracy.
That's what it's still a conspiracy.
Yeah, I gotta stop reading takes like that.
When you took college classes, did you ever did you
Voice.
figure out like sourcing, like primary, secondary sourcing and
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that? But do you still do that?
Well, I don't like, you can only take so much time. I do track down things to see if things are true. The person who said that about Mitch McConnell, honestly,
I remember one of your takes we tracked down to like a comment of a tweet. I remember one of those things.
that take I think I heard on Joe Rogan about Mitch McConnell. So,
Got you.
which I'm not giving
The
a merit.
far left wing Joe Rogan.
Well, sometimes they talk about left wing takes.
I
Well,
got
the other crazy take is that these I'll keep it.
wow.
keep it top.
These immigrants.
No,
Go ahead.
these-
you gotta keep
No,
going
these
now.
Let this fly, baby.
No, this is another left wing conspiracy that all the immigrants who are being moved from Texas and Florida to northern states are in order to try to get the black vote and urban vote from for Republicans, because they're taking basically like they're getting a bunch of not handouts, but they're getting a bunch of funding and stuff that the communities in these cities.
Hold on, clean this up. You're
Let me
losing-
clean this up. I'm trying to basically that Republicans are sending these buses and planes full of migrants from the border straight to New York City, Chicago, in order to stifle their resources that usually are being used on the communities there. And now they're all going to these migrants. They're getting cell phones and stuff in order to like get some of the local populations to vote that don't usually vote Republican to vote for Republicans. That's another take.
Okay.
So, and to get demographics that don't usually vote Republican. And you're kind of seeing some of that.
Wait, so they're saying that Republicans are sending buses
Yes.
of immigrants
Yes.
to northern Democratic cities
Yes.
to try to get them to vote Republican?
Yes. To vote against.
Are we talking about illegal immigrants?
Yes.
How can they vote?
No. He's saying, so like the buses that keep showing up in New York and Chicago and all these places with illegal immigrants. Billy, I'm not promulgating this, but Billy is saying that the people sending them are doing so in an effort to get the people already living in those cities to see the effects of
Yes.
democratic policies
on their social
then
systems. Yeah.
vote Republican instead.
Flood the streets with immigrants to make you see how bad it is, the immigrant crisis.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that this is not my wheelhouse. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah. But that's another take out there. So that's what I was gonna take.
It's definitely a take. I don't know. That's the one. It's this immigration shit. I'm not really up on, man. There's only so much information you can be up on, bro. But like,
It's not good.
so like, what is the gripe? Break it down to me, like I don't know what's going on, because I honestly I don't.
We're just
So-
letting them through.
The southern border is very permeated, and basically federal agents are ensuring that the border stays open, while Texas National Guard agents are putting up ways to, physical boundaries at the border, and there's a fight between state and federal powers on it. And now the Texas, since they have so many, it's the border state, because they are being flooded with so many migrants from all over the world, their social systems are flooded with trying to aid and stuff. So instead of just them taking the burden of it, like they usually have, they're sending a bunch of migrants to different parts of the country in order to have some of these blue cities and Democratic run cities experience some of the workload of caring, supplying, and ensuring that these people get taken care of, from a human rights standpoint. And they started in Martha's Vineyard because they knew that the impact would be extremely effective, because it's an island, centralized location, and the migrants couldn't disperse out there. But then like the homeless shelter in Martha's Vineyard, which usually has like very low amounts of homeless people, just got hit super hard. They didn't have the resources to deal with them. And now we're seeing that in a lot of cities that are getting hit. And then, there has been an increase of certain amounts of crime in these cities because of it. And it's trying to drum up the issue so that it makes one decision voters vote a certain way.
That's where they lose me. So they're saying that immigrants are causing more crime. And to me, that always seemed like a farce, because if I'm an immigrant, why, and I want to stay in the country, why would I do crime?
Yeah. I mean,
It increases your chance.
the stats,
Statistically, immigrants do less crime than natural born citizens. Like,
right. But there still is addition. Like, even though only, 5 or 1% are doing the crimes out of all the illegal immigrants that arrive there, that is still 1% times, it's still a number that's being added. And that's,
I feel like that's because it's like, then you got to look at the opposite side of that, which is like all the good that they're providing to the economy. So I feel like that's like
that's the balance.
talking point. So okay.
The one that does concern me, though, is that there are tons of Chinese, tons and tons of Chinese immigrants coming into the country that are unvetted, unchecked, and we just don't know what exactly why they're coming. Yes, they're probably coming for a better life, a bunch of them, but there is a national security risk to having so many unvetted individuals come in that may be from foreign entities that want to do harm to America.
Well, why do you say that they're unvetted?
Because
I'm not. This is not an accusatory line of question. I literally just don't understand the immigration politics in this. It's never been my field of study.
Unvetted, if they're Chinese special forces that's coming in to sort of slowly weaken our system. Because if you've seen Leave the World Behind, it does a good portrayal of how a country could topple America, because our military is the greatest in the world. You can't go one-on-one with us and beat us, and our nukes are probably way more advanced than we even know. because we spent all this money on the military industrial complex. Like, we're literally just doing a practice scrimmage in Ukraine right now with our technology. And that's why it's getting so much funding. So there is value to the American war system for continuing that. But if we get a bunch of foreign agents into the United States and, doing small things like, there was a fire at a nuclear weapons facility recently. Like, how did that fire start? Probably
Wait,
mechanical failure.
hold on. The question was, how do we know that they unvetted?
Because how are they going to do a full background check on someone who randomly shows up, gives a fake name, has no paperwork, and is just saying, they're running away from China?
Wait, so you're telling me that we're just letting anybody in with no paperwork?
Yeah.
I find this hard to believe, but I haven't looked into it.
Well, they're getting in by like using coyote routes. Like, the people, the individuals who get to processing centers for immigrants, aren't all of them. There are some that just are able to get through, use the coyote routes, and don't get caught by
Chinese people?
Yes. That come in, walk, like, basically they can walk and then just end up in like South San Diego and just
So
disperse.
Chinese people are flying to Mexico and immigrating through.
I think they go to Ecuador first.
Okay.
I think they go to Ecuador.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about this.
Yeah, it's by the way, honestly, our country was founded on immigration, and like, immigrants have been the backbone of our workforce, and have been, the addition to the economy and everything is so great. Like, the Civil War was fought by immigrants from the North, and it was one of the biggest reasons why we won. Like, I just recently found out that my grandmother's grandfather fought in Antietam for the North, and he had gotten off a boat from Germany, and they just handed him a gun and said, "We will pay you and give you 3 meals. Will you fight against the South?" And he's like, yeah. And he just heads like into fighting a war for a country that just accepted him. Like, probably so many of these immigrants coming in want to be a part of this great thing we got called America we got going. Like, there is, I'm not anti, but there needs to be some sort of common sense, laws and precautions taken. Because, when I was in an Uber 2 days ago, and the guy was talking about, he's so excited to vote in this election. He's been trying to become a U.S. citizen for 9 years, and he finally got citizenship 2 years ago, and he can't wait to finally participate in democracy. Like, think about it. Like, that's awesome. But he went through it the right way, and he's mad about how easy it is for other people who are unvetted, and like, why does he get punished for doing the right thing? Which is a common.
How is he getting punished?
Well, he had to. It took so long. He spent so much money, and he's like, if I had known, I would have just. Not that if he'd known, he was like, if it was today, I would have just flown to Mexico and walked over the border, and it would have been hard.
I don't like motherfuckers like that, bro.
You know, like
he like one of them motherfuckers who, like, let's say, student loan debt like gets canceled, right? Well, I mean, they had this administration have canceled billions of dollars of student loan debt, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm one of the ones that got my student loan forgiven. There are people who have had student loans who are like, hell no, I had to pay, so you do too. Like, that's the goofiest shit in the world.
But at the same time, like, so much of the issues that we deal with as a country, just like the fact that there's just not common sense, like common ground that politicians can't come to. Like, I'm a notorious idiot in the fact that I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should do common sense this, common sense that, common sense that. Like, shouldn't that be like, why aren't there more rational people in Washington doing these things? It's just infuriating.
Well, I think with something like this, I don't know much about it, so I can't speak on it, right? I've done no real research on immigration, so I don't have an opinion on it. But like, let's say something like gun reform, right?
Yeah.
For instance, right? Like, there's just no such thing as common sense, because a lot of the political differences are moral substrates. They're the moral foundation of a lot of people on the left and a lot of people on the right. So the middle ground is me conceding my morality. Same with abortion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the middle ground, and to me, like politically, abortion is the only thing that I see the other side on 100%. That I understand. I understand when conservatives are like, "That's a potentiality of life." Do I think that all of them are operating under good faith? No, but the argumentation, I do see that side, right? I tend to lean more towards, or all the way towards, it's a woman's right to choose. But for the instance of the conversation, like if I'm a hard stance on my left and your hard stance on your right, with the abortion topic, me conceding that ground is me losing my morality as a human being. You conceding on that ground is losing your morality as a human being. It is a moral issue, which is not necessarily, I feel like, debatable. And so with something like that, it's gonna forever be a divide in this country, because there's no right and no wrong, because it's how you feel. Like there's nothing that we could demonstrably prove that this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And so I honestly understand it. I just couldn't imagine having something growing inside of me, which is fucking weird. I don't think we talk about that enough. Like I said, society, like, yo, humans grow inside of each other. That shit is crazy. I just couldn't imagine. Yeah, I couldn't imagine having something inside of me that's growing. You know what I'm saying? And so like, because I can't do that, I don't have an opinion on it. Like, I feel like it's your body. Do what the fuck you want to do with it. That shit is crazy.
Dude, like the fact that in the same vein, like you put a seed into like a small pot, like a seed, like a tiny seed, and it can sprout into a gigantic sunflower or a gigantic oak tree.
Yeah, life is pretty wild.
Wild. I mean, that aspect, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But
real quick pivot, did y'all see, unless you have something else to add to the bit?
No, but there are, like the other sides where maybe it shouldn't happen. That's my last point.
Like I said, I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I understand the argument. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I concede the logic behind it. There is logic behind it. I don't see much else on that side though that I agree with logically. But
I got a hard pivot.
Yep.
You seen what Wendy's is doing?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
They actually stopped it. They shut it down.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
hold on.
That quick?
First topic on the list. So what happened is Wendy's wanted to introduce a digital menu with surge pricing, so that when the demand for burgers was high or it was at a certain time that they were open, like 3 a.m., that they could raise the price of their burgers, so that the market, the supply and demand curve of the price was like they were getting the most, maximizing their profits by charging the most they could for a burger. So for example, if it's 3 a.m. and they're the only place open, they will charge more for a burger than they would at, let's say, 10 a.m. when they first start serving burgers, because the demand is so high and the supply is so low at that time, but it's high at 10 a.m. but the demand is low because it's not lunch yet.
Is that not the opposite of what it should be? If your demand is high, then you raise the prices. If your demand is low, then you lower the prices.
Right. That's exactly what I said. So at 10
a.m.
If
it's 3 a.m., the demand isn't high. There's not a lot of people wanting burgers. There may be one or two. If it's 10 a.m. or in your analogy where there's a lot of burgers being sold, that's when you raise the price.
No. There aren't as many burgers being sold at 10 a.m. because it's not lunchtime and the demand is low, so they'll sell the burger for cheap then. But at 3 a.m. when there's other stores closed that also serve burgers, and Wendy's is one of the only places open, the demand is the ratio is higher, that there's more people demanding burgers than the supply allows at 3 a.m. because there's less places serving burgers.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's quite possibly the stupidest shit I've ever seen. And they stopped doing it?
Yeah, because everyone got pissed.
Yeah, let's gouge our consumers. Who came up with that shit?
Wait, so they didn't say they're stopping it. They clarified. The company said Wednesday, after the story began to circulate this week, that any features it decides to test in the future, quote, would be designed to benefit our customers and restaurant crew members. Wendy's will not implement surge pricing, which is the practice of raising prices when demand is highest. We didn't use that phrase, nor do we plan to implement that practice. But that does seem like they're going to do something.
Wait, so what though? Where did it come from then?
I don't know. It just says any features would be designed to benefit our customers and restaurant crew members.
Yeah,
But I was going to say, I'll tell you what, if it was 30 cents more, just on principle, I'd go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like,
But there's no other places to go. That's their argument.
okay, you're using just if it's 3 a.m., which there are other places that are open. But this was the way the story was pitched was that, like, at lunchtime, they're going to raise the prices.
Yeah.
So even if it was just a little bit, I would never go to Wendy's again. And secondly, like, first of all, fast food is too expensive now anyway. Then you have like Uber Eats and stuff where the prices are double already. And then like there's just no practical reason that would work for a business where there's so many other options. Like surge pricing works for Uber because if I'm at a game and I have to go home, like what am I going to do? Not go home? So like you just have to deal with it then. But like if you're a Wendy's and it's next to a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A and 6 other fast food places, you can just go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite possibly the stupidest shit I've ever. I mean, even if you were to do that, why would you tell the public?
Yeah.
Like if this is your master plan, knowing, like, I guess economic understanding is like at a rise, right? It's rising. People are starting to pay attention to economics and social hierarchies. Why would you then say, hey, let's tell people? I know that makes sense. I don't think that they did that.
Honestly, I think people just rant. Like the CEO said a quote, like like at some conference where they're like, how do we make more money to our like shareholders? And he's like explaining ways they might make more money. Like we might implement surge charging, like because he's trying to impress capitalist owners of his company that employ him, basically his board, and he's trying to show like creative ways that he might extract more wealth out of this burger chain.
So the story came from CEO Kirk Tanner told investors on a call this month that starting as early as 2025, Wendy's would begin testing features including dynamic pricing and day part offerings.
He just wants to act like he's doing his job.
So, I mean, he did say it.
Yeah. But he just wants
great.
his investors to think that, you know, he's actively thinking of new ways to have higher returns on their investment.
What a dummy.
I mean,
What a
that's
big
his
fucking
job, and he gets paid probably. Let's look up how much he makes.
Uninterested.
How much does though? But literally, that is why he gets paid. He gets paid.
It says $1 million a year
Yeah,
The Wendy's CEO?
with a base salary.
he probably has stock options. Yeah, he made $8 million. Yeah, he made about $8 million, I think. This says he makes
oh, wait,
a lot.
This is 17. I don't know.
I don't think we really know.
It looks like he makes about 2.7 and then has a ton of stock as well.
Yeah, this one says 8 million, which seems kind of
That's including stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't wait for this, honestly. Biden gets annual physical exam with summary expected later today. This was sent out at 12:05. I'm excited about this.
Not doing the cognitive exam though.
He visited Walter Reed. Now I want to see if the ticker is still ticking, man. I want to see all that shit. I want to see blood pressure.
They said Trump weighed like
shit?
215. They're gonna say he's the healthiest anyone's ever been.
I want to see Biden's
facts.
T levels.
That's facts. Democrats, man. I've been listening to a lot of like Democratic rhetoric lately, and they just all in on like, it's not that bad. You're just blowing it up. Everybody's just blowing it up, and I'm like, dogs. Even if that's not the case, in like his cabinet's making most of the decision, like, why would you want that to be a representation?
I
It don't
actually
make no
saw a
sense.
video. It was him with a dad and 2 kids like eating cookout, and he was like, they were like, the Democrats should actually show like that it's a fool's errand to be like, oh, Biden's actually incredible. Like he's doing so great right now. Like you wouldn't believe it. Be like, no, he's like a nice grandpa who is like, they should show that and like lean into that rather than being like, this guy's incredible.
Sharp. You see
Behind the scenes, you wouldn't believe it. All right, then, well, let's see it in front of the scenes because I haven't seen it.
What if we
Put that
find
shit
out that the
up.
person who's really running the country is like 5 interns who are just like so in over their head?
I mean, it ain't him. Did you see? He went on Seth Meyers the other day, and Seth Meyers asked him in the question, said, "What is your like agenda for 2024? Like, what's your game plan?" Said 2024 in it, and Biden goes, "Well, the game plan for 2020 is really simple. Like, we're gonna do this." And it's like, it's just stuff like that over and over and over and over and over again that, like, you know.
The last debate was hilarious to watch. This debate is going to be maybe the world's most memeable event.
Is he
of
gonna
all
do
time.
them?
They have to. To not do a presidential debate with your Republican opponent would be the first time in U.S. history, wouldn't it?
I would assume probably since they started doing them, but I don't see how he can. They can't put him out there.
It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be fun to watch, man.
I'm still
I'm
of
gonna
the
try.
of opinion it's not going to be him. I just can't see it.
There's no way you still think that. Dog.
I can't see it. There's no
Ooh,
way.
Big T, at this, it's about to be March, bro.
Well, if it happens,
Elections in November?
it'll be at the convention.
Oh, we got Obama.
We
in
don't.
The puzzle, we got Obama.
Oh,
That got me hyped. I'm sorry.
It would be Gavin Newsom if it was anyone else.
he will be the next Democratic president that the DNC props up. I agree with that, but not this. It's too late. It's way too late.
I just can't. Well, if this were to happen, it would have already been like behind the scenes. Obviously, people would know about it, but
You know what I'm saying? They would have been leaking it. They'd have been like
probably.
because it's too late.
I
'Cause
just
now you have to, like,
can't imagine that it's really gonna be Biden.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
Every time he's on, I see him on a screen. It's worse than the time before.
Yeah, it does look like he's declining, and this is not even like,
Rapidly.
it's interesting because like I remember like watching him on the first debates. I'm like, he old, but like, yeah, at least he can still talk and stuff. But like every time I see him now, it's getting.
I saw a video of him from, it was like 2013 or 14, and it was so shocking. I couldn't believe it was the same person.
I would like to see that mashup. Let me know if you see that.
I mean, what's really unfortunate is that a lot of us are getting, like, we're seeing dementia in real time, which is like, hopefully you don't have a loved one. It's very
No,
difficult.
my
for people I know.
grandmother is dealing with it right now. So my
Yeah.
grandmother is in the midst of like she's in denial, but it's like very obvious what's happening, and it is very sad to see. But it's it's an unfortunate circumstance of the life that we live. When you get that old, your cognitive faculties start to just deteriorate, and in some cases it goes faster than others. But it's the to me, and this has nothing to do with Biden anymore, but like to me it's the like it's the anger that they start to portray, right? Because I couldn't imagine, man, being an elderly person when you see a lot of your friends are starting to die, a lot of your family members that were older than you, they're all dead, and then you kind of like have to face your own mortality. On top of that, you still want to kind of assert your own independence, and you're unable to do so. So it's like a sad chain of events. But getting back to Biden, it's like, I don't know, why not embrace that and give some people some hope? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we dealing with some stuff over here, but look at we can still walk and shit. I don't know. The gaslighting from the administration is infuriating though. That motherfucker going downhill, bro. But
Like,
is what
do
it is,
you
man.
do you think if he got reelected, like, what are the odds he serves out another full term? I'd say virtually zero.
I think he's gonna chill a lot. Yeah, I think he's gonna chill a lot and let the camp cook. But like I don't, like I said, I think it's very rare to have a president with a unilateral plan going forward for America. There's just too many moving parts. So you hire a cabinet to help you out with all the, the regulatory stuff of being a president. So I still think it's a machine that'll continue to go whether he gets elected or not.
I mean, we've never really had candidates that were this old.
Mm-mm.
Like they are the
Not-
two
was
oldest.
not.
They are the two oldest, I think, but not even like really. Like how old was Reagan? Like 70?
Well, they're the two oldest, and they're about to break a record in which they set last term that they
Right.
ran against each
Dude,
other.
You know
But
what?
like
It's
even
great.
Reagan, who like seemed like he was old, was 10, 12 years younger than them.
Was he 70? Was Reagan 70?
He was born in 1911. So yeah.
And he was in the
70.
80s. Yeah, damn. Yeah, 67.
Dude, I saw something about like there aren't any young people in serious managerial positions on average, and there's like people are thinking that there's IQ de-evolution, and that it's weird.
When you say, just a few things I have with this. When you say young people, what age are we talking?
Let me find the exact article I'm looking at, but like most managerial positions, as in like I think it was CEOs, most of them are over 60 years old nowadays. A large percentage, which makes sense because getting to a certain point in your career, CEO is kind of top of the ladder, so it takes a long time to get there. But it's much different than it was 50 years ago or 40 years ago. But that may just because people are healthier and more able later in life because of advances in sciences and technology, that they're all remaining in those positions. But people are saying that like new generations, because of chemicals, plastics, like their IQs aren't getting to as high as they were way back when, and it's causing like we don't know who's going to run the country. There might not be anyone capable in the future. So that
People are getting younger. So like when you look at, I think maybe we talked about this before, but like the Golden Girls, that show, the Golden Girls, they were 50. They were in their 50s on that show.
What?
And you like 50? Yeah, they were in their 50s on that show. And when you look at 50-year-olds nowadays, you like, they can still get it. You know what I mean? That was bad. I shouldn't have said that. But
I guess
I
that
like-
does
I
make
like-
sense
I
because
like-
Betty
I like
White
older
just
women.
recently died.
yeah, they were in their
That show
50s, bro.
was
Yeah. And like I looked at them like, yo, they were grandmas. And now I look at 50-year-olds like, you probably got a young kid, you probably got a teenager or a 20-year-old, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't look at them as grandmas anymore. And like so people are just getting younger, and the youth is what is the life expectancy? Let me check real quick. The life expectancy nowadays. Has it increased? It probably decreased because of COVID, actually.
I think it's like late 70s.
77.28 years in the United States.
So it's up. Yeah.
Since
so
what?
I think it took a dip because of COVID, but it's
Yeah.
starting to go back up.
Yeah, because in 2019 it was, or 2018 it was like 78. Yeah, it was 78 for a while. Now it's 77.
Yeah. Well,
UK
damn,
has a
man.
higher one than us by several years.
I think does Asia too? I think
Japan has the highest.
yeah, they're like in the 80s, ain't they?
Yeah, there's this documentary on green zones that I think it is Hiroshima has the
Some of them
highest.
started in the late 40s. The Golden Girls. Sorry.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Japan's is 84 and a half years, and China's is 78. So China and us have basically or like less than a year. Japan is 6 years on
I
us.
think Hiroshima has like a average like life expectancy of 100. I remember.
I'm looking.
No, the actual city. It might be like something, or they have the highest amount of
No,
what? Do you know? what it
81
is?
years.
So it's lower.
It says
Average of 100 would be crazy, Billy.
Um.
Like an average of 100 mean people like
that
a
means
bunch of people live to like 120.
yeah.
Yeah. There are a bunch of people over 100. There's that documentary called Green Zones on Netflix that talked about like places with the highest life expectancies, and I think it was Hiroshima was one of them. And they had just like a bunch of 100-year-olds. Yeah, average is way too much. But
See this one,
yeah, now
see
that
this one video of this lady. She was having a birthday party, and she was like 94, 95. She was sitting there looking dejected, and they were singing "Happy Birthday" to her. And after that, they said "Happy Birthday to you," whatever. And then she says, "Well, thank you. I hope this is my last one." Everybody was like, "Grandma."
Yeah. People
I
are
couldn't
just
imagine, man. What's your prime ideal age, or where you want to check out, Big T?
Like 83, 84. After that, like it's just bad.
The struggle, right? Yeah, I feel you, man. What about you, Billy?
I think it really depends on what I got going on. I mean,
What you gonna have going on in your 80s?
well, like I don't know if I like if hopefully if I'm Copus Mentis and hopefully have like a lot of grandkids, like I think I'll want to stick around for as long as possible, just like to, maybe coach up some of my grandkids in sports or something, like go watch them. Like that will be fun. Like I'll probably want to hang around for as long as I can if like there's cool stuff happening. But if I'm like,
So you want to max it out. You want to max out the card.
well, no, but at the same time, if I'm like, living alone in an apartment or like in a trailer park or something, like I'd probably be like, yeah, like maybe we'll trip up ourselves or go walk into traffic. Like,
Fuck is wrong with you, man?
well, it just depends on what you got going on. I mean, that's
This is so rare. Living alone in an apartment or trailer park or something like that. Yeah,
I think
you need a filter system. You need a filter system.
I don't think anything I said
before
was.
before you say words, you should be like, will this come across okay?
What's wrong living alone in a. What was so wrong? About what I
You just said if that was the case, I'll go walk into traffic.
as an old person.
Yes. Crazy. Funny dude, man. What about y'all? Ideal age to check out. Mine is 87. I've always had that number. Since I was a kid, I was like, I'm probably gonna kick the bucket at 87. I don't know why, but it's just a number that's stuck in my head. Maddie Mac, what about you?
I'm afraid of death.
Oh, okay. So
I don't want to die.
you want to live forever?
I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I'm afraid of dying, but 88 seems like a good age where it's like long, good life. But I feel like once you get to 90, it's like people got to check on me.
That's the. I don't want to lose my autonomy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't want
like,
to
I
have
don't
somebody
wanna-
wheel me to the bathroom, bro. At that point, like, what am I here for?
Yeah, I don't.
100 would just be fun. Like,
You get the
not-
Smucker's jar on the Today Show.
Like, not. I just think it would be cool to like be 100, but
Just a flex.
not ideal.
I really bet it wouldn't.
No, but like
just to say that you made
just
it.
to say it,
I think I would want.
but not ideally.
I think.
But even the people
yeah,
like you would brag too. They probably already dead.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I don't want to die.
Hmm.
You
I
don't
have
want to
these, like,
live
vivid-
forever either, though.
No,
Yeah.
but I don't want to. I don't want to die.
I'm excited. Just like once like after the whole like, oh man, goodbye this world kind of goes away. Like, oh shit, what's next, dude? Like it could be anything. It could be something cool. You could get to learn everything about the world.
I know, but it scares me.
Yeah, but like you could also, hopefully you're living in a way that you don't end up anywhere. I don't know. It just that really has to go with you can be excited. There's two ways you could be like, oh, I'm scared that it's going to be a terrible existence or blackness, but then also like, oh,
Well, then
it could be.
Then you're not knowing.
It
Yeah.
ain't gonna bother you either way. you know?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I always think about this. I always think about like, I have no consciousness up until about 1989. I have no idea about
Right.
anything. I have nothing.
Isn't
It's
that
just-
crazy, though?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's
one
weird.
day
I never thought about that.
I'm not gonna be here. Is it just gonna be a whole bunch of that? And then I'll just never, like, I'm just out. I'm just like,
Oh,
it is weird to think about.
Oh,
And it's
this
also
gives me
infuriating
shivers.
too. Like,
It does.
Why the fuck am I here? What did you do? Who did this?
Oh, this is
This
giving
is
me the
dumb.
shivers.
Yeah, it's wild to think about this. So, Maddie, this is what my brain goes to
Mm-hmm.
98% of the time. I could be chilling, watching my kids play, having a good time, and my brain goes to, well, this is gonna end soon. I'm like,
Oh,
man, why?
Oh,
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I'm not a believer in free will, right? That's a whole nother conversation, but my brain is wired how it's wired. And that's where it goes to a lot of the time. I'll just be chilling, having a great day, and all of a sudden I'll just be like, whoop, you're gonna die one day.
I don't like that.
Come on.
I want to talk about that. You don't believe in free will?
No.
In what sense?
All right, so it's like a multifaceted belief, right? So let's break it down to the easier ones to understand. The easiest way to understand is this. All right, do you agree that we as organisms are a product of two things, and if there's anything outside of that, then the conversation can't continue, and we just disagree, right? But I believe that we as organisms are a product of two things. One is our environment, and the other one is our genetic makeup, right? If we can agree on that, then I can move forward.
I do agree with you, but I think we have a different definition of what product means. But yes, I agree with you.
Wait, are you saying that I can not take responsibility for all my actions?
You can't wait. You couldn't wait. Huh? It is a philosophical quandary that has been at the forefront of our philosophers since we were recorded history, right? So it's called determinism. So if all I am is a product of my genetic makeup, which is the way my brain reacts to my environment, right? And the way my environment is shaped, I have no control over my genes. I was born with them. My mother and father made sweet love, and I popped out in a different variation than my brothers and sisters, right? That's the one thing about evolution is every time two things breed, they have offspring and they all have variation. That is a byproduct of evolution. And because of that variation, that your genes are all different, right? They're pretty similar, but they're different. And so part of that is my brain chemistry and the way that it works, the way it reacts. And the way that it reacts to the stimuli, which is the environment, right? I'm not in control of that environment. So if I'm not in control of how my brain reacts to the environment, and I'm not in control of the environment that I'm brought into, in what way am I in control of anything that I do?
Because other people can have an impact on you to make
that
decisions.
That would be your environment.
So I guess I don't disagree with you up until like the point. Okay, if you took a basketball,
okay,
and coated it in grease,
okay,
and then you try to pick it up, you have significantly increased the likelihood that you're going to drop it.
Yeah.
But you could still not drop it. Much in the same way that your environment and the way you're raised and everything around you influences the way you are and the way you think and what you do, but you could still choose to do something different if you wanted to, or you could, you deviate from that in some way. It doesn't, I don't believe it necessarily determines everything that happens.
Well, what determines if you make a choice or not? Like what is the faculty?
For me, that's a circular question. Like you make the choice.
Yeah, but there are factors involved into you making a choice. It's not just I make the choice because I make the choice. There are reasons as to why we make choices.
Yeah. So again, I agree with you. Like I am predisposed to do X, Y, Z because that's what my parents did, or that's the way I've always done it. This, that, and the other. But like, I could choose to do it differently if I want to.
This is the argument to that is this, right? So there are people raised in like Christian homes who end up the opposite of that. There are people who are raised in Christian homes who end up devout Christians, right? To me, that is a direct correlation between like the environment in which you're raised in and the environment, not just that you're raised in, but like local, all of that, national, mixed with your specific fingerprint of genes, right? It all influences your decision making. But I don't see how you can make a decision outside of that faculty, because that's all you are. And a lot of people don't, like, they'll dismiss that, right? And they'll be like, oh, you know what you're talking about, whatever. You have spirit, you have blah, 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 like that. Well, we can't have a conversation. And I know you're not invoking that. I'm just saying the arguments that I've heard about this. because we can't there's no demonstrable proof that exists nor doesn't exist, right? So to me, that's a non sequitur. So I stick with what we can prove and what we can work with. And it's why Einstein said free will is an illusion, however persistent. I feel what you feel. I feel like if I wanted to pick this thing up, I'm gonna pick this thing up. If I want to put it down, I'm gonna put it. That's me making that decision. It feels like I have faculty over myself. It feels like that. I feel it. But when I start to think about it, I'm less and less convinced that it's me doing that outside of my brain chemistry and how my brain chemistry has reacted to its environment around it. Because I'm not in control of my brain. Like so for instance, like
wait before you say, I have a question. So are
ahead.
you saying that because your brain has been formed the way it has because of whatever circumstances and forces, that any decision you now make for the rest of your life is predetermined because it's been formed that way?
I wouldn't necessarily use the word predetermined, right? Because I am, and the other part of that is my love for science and my love for the general theory of relativity, which is a little harder to break down. Which predetermined, I don't necessarily think that's the greatest term for it, but
well, that's the way you made it sound when you said, like, if I pick this up.
Yeah, in short, because it's harder to understand without that other tenet, right? Which I don't want to get too deep into, but the other tenet does have a certain amount of predeterminism in it. But I don't see how me making any choice at all has anything to do with anything outside of factors that were predetermined before I got here. So my mother and my father having me were, I am their byproduct. So them having me, my genetic makeup was predetermined before I got here. So when I got here, I have a certain set of genes, and I was born into an environment that those genes react to. The byproduct of those genes, they react to, which I don't have any control over. And so what do I have control over? If because people say, oh, I can make that choice. That choice is part of your genetic makeup.
I get what you're saying, but I think the thing that, so environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can change your environment. I know that, but if you change your environment, then it's just environment. But there is the ability to like go into different environments and move within things to change certain things. And I think that is the crux of like, the definition of environment is what I think gets it. Because if you're the product of where you grew up in that environment, that's one thing. But then you can then either stay in that environment or you could make a conscious choice to move out of that environment.
That
and
it's
even
the
though
conscious
that's
choice. The conscious choice is your genetic makeup. That is
right.
That is out of your control. You had no control over what your brain was going to desire.
But you can make that choice to move environments, and the thing is, I don't think it will.
That would be your genetic makeup. That's what I'm saying. It would
but
be.
Is it your genetic makeup, or
put it
is
like
it
this?
your
Put
environment?
it like this. There are people who are bipolar, right?
Right.
There are people who are bipolar, and sometimes they have manic episodes, right? Where the balances in the chemical balance in their brain from serotonin and all these things, it gets imbalanced, and they act out manic. They get super happy and super euphoric, or they can get super depressed and super like morbid, right? Are they making that choice to do that?
No,
I don't think. But
I agree.
You can have ththings like that, and that's not a indictment.
This is what
on
I'm
free
saying.
will.
This is what I'm saying. But well, this is what I'm saying. If they are acting in a certain way because their brain is I guess having a moment in which the chemicals inside of it are reacting abnormally than they normally would act, that still forces them to act in a certain way. My argument is, if your brain has chemistry you don't have control over what that chemistry is. And we are directly molded with our environment that we are living inside of. You don't have any control over your brain chemistry in general. And so those two things combined, I don't see how you make choices outside of those two faculties. I still have yet to see an argument because like what you guys are saying, like what Billy said is like, yeah, but you have a choice to change environments, and you have a choice. You keep saying you have a choice, but that choice comes from somewhere. And where does that choice come from? It comes from your brain, which you do not have control over its origins.
Right, but the genetic makeup, right, is both. You could say that your environment made you want to leave that environment and not your genetics. So that sort of was environment, that sort of gap in, well, what was the genesis of this decision, I think is where free will comes into play.
You know, because that would be your environment.
No, but like, let's say, you know,
I guess I can put it like this, because every time you give me an analogy, you describe either your environment or your genetics, and which is the catalyst into why you want to make a decision. Give me something outside of those two factors, because you keep saying your free will or your choice. What outside of those two factors is the catalyst in making that decision?
Sometimes you don't know. I get where you're coming from with it, and maybe I'm not
saying you're right or I'm wrong.
Right.
I'm not making. I'm just saying, he asked me why I don't believe in free will. I'm just giving my argumentation as to why. I have yet to hear a convincing argument as to why free will exists.
I agree with you. I agree with you that like genetics do play a huge role in our makeup, in that our environments also play a huge role in how we get to this point. In those two factors, honestly, you could even say that free will is the combination of those two factors. That's what it is, like the combo, and that's what causes you to make decisions. But at the same time, it does restrict you, and it's a philosophical. You know, I'm playing within my head right now while trying to put a puzzle together, and I'm very puzzled by the whole thing. I'm double puzzled by my environment and my.
It's hard. The only argument I've heard that like people rebut with is it just you could feel it, you know it, you feel it, you know it, which is the same argument for like a deity, which I don't feel like. Yeah, I do feel the free will thing though. I do. When people say that, like, I know what you feel. I feel that too. I feel like I have agency over myself. I do. If I want to look right, I'll look right. If I want to look left, I'll look left. I feel that. But when I actually go into deeper thought of where those impulses come from, I don't have a good argument as to anything outside of those faculties.
So you just said look right, look to left, pick something up. Do you have more of an ability to do that than a newborn?
Yes.
So you have an ability that brain does not.
Yes.
So I would say free will has to exist if some people can have it more than others. A newborn
how so?
A newborn baby only exists in like we just said, it doesn't really have the agency to make decisions like that beyond what you described, your environment and your brain chemistry. Like, I'm hungry, I need food right now, I'm gonna cry. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have the agency to go play basketball if he wanted to. You do. So what is that decision-making power?
I think that's developmental. And I think that's a developmental issue. Like, they don't have the agency, not because of a desire from their brain to want to do that. They don't have that because their brain is not developed enough to understand that is an option. So I think that's kind of apples and oranges. Like, they don't have their brain is not developed fully, and so their brain is still like the electrical impulses inside of their brains are very limited, right? And so that's why like they twitch, they twitch, and they have all these like involuntary movements because their brain is just figuring out the pathways from Okay, if I fire this elbow moves, right? Their brain is still figuring all of those inner workings out. My brain already understands how to move my thing, my hand up and down, and um that's, to me, that's just a developmental issue. I don't think that is like a out of their free will.
But there
that's
is
out
an
of their
agency component to it.
yeah.
Same with we discuss people who have Alzheimer's, like same thing.
And see, to me, that's more to my point, which is because their brain, people who are suffering from Alzheimer's, their brain chemistry is breaking down, right? Their cognitive faculties are breaking down. Does anybody want to forget their loved ones? Does anybody want to, no. But your brain is deteriorating in a way that is affecting your behavior, which is out of your control.
Well, to say free will exists does not indicate that there are not processes that happen in the brain that are natural that you can't control.
Well, I would ask, well, what does it mean to say that free will exists?
I don't even disagree with most of what you've said.
Right.
It just
feels funny. I get it. I get you 100%. I went to school for philosophy, so like I was thinking about this shit for years. So it's like a lot of my worldviews are like that, where like I can understand how you feel, right? I just like when I dug down deep into like, okay, do I believe in free will, right? Because on its face, yeah, of course I do, right? But like when I actually dug into it, and I'm saying this is just me. Like I said, this is not accusatory. I don't want anybody to feel like that. This is just my vantage point. I couldn't rationalize my belief in free will. It's actually how I became an atheist. There came a point in time where I couldn't rationalize my belief, where I was like, I wanted to believe, but I couldn't rationalize it. In my head, I was pretending. And so when I dug into the free will conversation, it felt the same way, where it's like, I can't justify this anymore because I don't believe it. I was looking for reasons to believe it, and that ended up deterring me from believing it.
Sounds like you're making a lot of choices to me.
I love how
that was funny, and I will get there are some it's rare that I find conservative comedy funny, right? It just always seems like either punching down or just corny. There is this dude I saw this clip of, and he said, and it was funny though. I'm pretty sure you saw it went pretty viral. He was a comedian, and he was saying, and I'm a butcher, but he was saying, I believe there's a God. He's like, there are people out there who say that there's nothing. And then he said, and then he said, when I die, I go back to my creator. And those same people say when they die, there's just nothing. And I was like, so you merge back with your creator?
Yeah,
I was like,
I saw the clip.
That
made people mad.
That was see, and I don't understand, like, because I'm an atheist, right? It's not that don't change my belief. There's obvious fallacies in it, but it's a funny argument, and it's a funny way to represent the argument. I appreciated it. That was funny.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
It's it's funny how sometimes this podcast is Billy and Big T try to convince Arian God is real. Sometimes
I feel like that's rarely the case.
No.
Yeah, I don't
but the free will thing is like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's sort of the whole, is there a creator and free will being there's a lot of the same arguments as we just spoke. But this puzzle is really damn hard, and thinking about free will while you're trying to do a puzzle at the same time is like,
how many pieces would you estimate you've got out of that?
I have JFK, I almost done. I have Obama almost done. I have the dude I didn't know who it was almost done, and I have Jimmy Carter a little. So we're
looks like you're maybe about halfway.
No, you're giving me. I'm maybe
a
like
third.
I'm maybe like 20%.
At that little?
Yeah. Oh, I got Andrew Jackson too.
Well, you got what, 4 more hours before you need to leave?
Yeah, dude, this is.
I don't think you're gonna get that done.
It's not getting done. We're gonna try. We're gonna try, but you can't forcibly keep me here.
I'm not forcibly keeping you anywhere.
Nobody gonna try to, bro.
I'm setting that down now.
If anybody don't have anything else, man, y'all want to go to some voicemails?
Arian, are you caught up on Kate Middleton?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even know. Who
That's the point. Nobody knows.
Do you know who
she's
Kate
the
Middleton
princess.
is?
Who?
She's married to Prince William.
He's the dude from the royal family.
Yes.
Yeah, bald guy.
Okay.
She's
What's up
missing.
with-
Nobody's seen her. Months.
Wait, this ain't the light skin joint, is it?
No, that's Meghan Markle. She's married to his
Okay.
brother.
Sisters-in-law.
So his wife is missing?
Not probably not, but she's missing from the public eye, and people are wondering what's going on.
I saw vaguely like there was like this big conversation about the royal family, right? So there's like people who are like, I think this is great, for the representation of our country, yada yada yada. And there are people who are like, yo, this is stupid. It's a monarchy, which we are not. So that whole like back and forth. I think we maybe even talked about it on this podcast, dog. Because like don't they get like a whole bunch of taxpayer money?
Yeah, but it's they get as much money as allocated by their engagements. So there's a lot more royals than just like the royal family. There's like other lower level royals like who are duchesses and dukes of different places in England, and they're like related to the royal family, but they're not the main core. And basically there's this like system where if they attend certain galas and stuff, they'll get more money. So they sort of
Like
are
speaking appearance or
like
or speaking
opening schools. Like they'll just have a royal there to represent the royal family, like in various public works, hospitals, attending events. It's sort of like they're sort of just like brought around like show ponies, and they all kind of compete with each other to get speaking arrangements. So those but the bigger ones are the royals that like the prince, the queen, like they get to live in the big castles and stuff because they have to go to the highest level of those events. So there is like a system that the money isn't just allocated to them. They do have it by birth, but they get it according to what they do. So
they
it's
have to
weird.
work for it.
Yeah, they kind of like the queen doesn't, the prince doesn't, but because they end up like
I don't think they do, honestly. I mean, I don't know. You may be right, but that sounds so like if a royal family member doesn't want to do speaking engagements, like
Yeah.
they're gonna be broke. I don't
no,
think,
they're not going to be broke, but they're going to get inheritance, right? But if they're
That's
going to
what I'm
make
saying.
new money from the taxed income, right? They're
well,
not
and also
gonna,
just by the proxy of who they are,
yeah.
they'll make money.
Yeah. Like
But-
Prince Harry's, they had a podcast, and Harry now gets none of like the speaking engagement stuff or any of like the current tax money. And a lot of the money they make is from tourism, like people going to pay for, a tour, like a royal tour, when actually, I'm not sure about that. Like Buckingham Palace, you can just look at, but if you want to watch like the changing,
Safe
of
to
the
say we
guard-
don't really know.
Yeah. I do know
Okay.
that about the allocation of money for different royals, though.
But
Gotcha.
Kate Middleton was placed in the hospital for a quote unquote planned abdominal surgery.
Mhm.
And she's supposed to be out of the public eye until April anyways. So no one should have seen her yet already. But since that announcement came to light, there have been like odd non-traditional things that like Prince William has been doing, like backing out of these arrangements that are making people think that something more, is sinister the right word? I don't know.
Yeah, the royal.
Serious is happening that they're not devolving in. There's a conspiracy. I was actually diving into this morning. There's a conspiracy that they're getting divorced, and she's like, basically this is how they're like quiet quitting her from the royal family. I don't think that's true. I think it's kind of weird to make that kind of thing up, but there's that rumor. There's a rumor that like BBL.
Hold on, how old is she?
She didn't get a BBL one,
Maybe
but
40.
yeah, hold on, I can tell you.
I
She
mean,
got married.
You know what? I'm okay if the royal, what is it, your princess?
Yeah.
She's 42.
Okay, if she get a BBL.
Be
I don't
so
even like
funny.
BBLs, but go ahead and
She's
get that
gorgeous.
thing thinking.
Like
Go
she's
ahead.
I love Princess Kate, but
Let me see. Let me
but-
type her up.
there's a ton of different theories on like where she is and why there isn't a lot of openness about it. Also, when William pulled out from that speaking arrangement, he used a crest that hasn't been used since before he was married. So people think it's like something weird with that because he usually signs all of his like letters and whatever with William and Kate, and he only signed with William. So people are like taking that. It's a crazy thing. And it's also like I think it also shows like how little boundary people have with like these parasocial relationships that they build over people they just do not know. And like people in America care. Like this doesn't affect us at all.
Don't you care a lot?
I care.
I mean, you just gave us the whole rundown.
I gave you the rundown, but that's from other people. I'm not like putting in my own thing.
You know what's well? Then there's the crazy Rothschild guy who died, and they're saying like that now that he's dead, the royal family might just not be a thing anymore because he like owned them. That weird.
The royal
thing.
family existed for
years and years,
several thousand years before him.
Right,
so.
right. But they think that he like took them over by becoming their banker and like bankrolling them. It's a weird.
There's a lot of theories.
Just ask some questions.
But that's what's going on with Kate Middleton, and people think that there are tricks being played behind the scenes, and that William has always been kind of rumored to have a mistress, and people are like, is he leaving Kate for his mistress?
Is he doing what his dad did?
Yeah.
Damn.
Genetic.
Honestly, hopefully nothing bad happens to Kate.
I think cheating is somewhat genetic.
Damn.
I think
shit, Maddie.
I don't mean that as like a slight, but like
No, I mean it sounded a little personal. I mean, I think it was.
Well, he's also
anybody in
like
this room,
technically
but-
not a royal. Like you know how
Kate?
they all
yeah,
like she's
a
an
commoner.
outsider.
That was
yeah.
the whole thing.
Couple things. One, several hundred years, not thousand, for the British royal family. But two, Arian, there was one more thing I meant to ask you. So, like they were just talking about cheating, whatever. So, if you don't believe in free will,
Right.
to what extent are people responsible for their actions?
Yeah, that is the big drawback from my position, and I think we don't have any choice but to act as if you have to hold people accountable, because that, to me, that would be chaos, right? I think you have to hold people accountable, whether or not. So, like, if like I said, if you have a bipolar episode, like if somebody has a bipolar episode, or some kind of like manic or whatever the case may be, right? And there's something happening in somebody's brain. A matter of fact, there was that situation. I think it was a shooting. I don't know if it was at the university, but it was in Austin, Texas. And there was a dude who climbed up to like some tower and he started shooting people. And he killed some people.
Yeah.
And when he had a letter that said, "Hey, after I'm dead, examine my brain." He said something's wrong. Examine my brain. And they did, and they found out that they hit a tumor pressing up against his medulla oblongata, which made him hyper aggressive. It made him, but he knew and felt something was off, right? And so I said that to say, was he responsible for that? Yeah, right. But was there an outside force that made him act out in a certain way? Because everybody said that he was like, yo, I never would have thought he would have done some shit like this. He even admitted something's wrong. I don't feel like myself. And they found out the causal link to it. I feel like if you take him alive, you still have to hold him accountable for those actions, even though there was an obvious liaison as to why those actions were taking place. I don't think it absolves people of their actions. I think that we're all just vibrations interacting with each other, and the society in which we have created has rules and regulations, and you got to abide by those.
Yeah. But the thing is, he knew something was wrong. Yeah. That story is crazy because he was a Vietnam vet and he was an extremely well-trained sniper, which didn't help the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
But there could have been a chance to save him. Like, he could have been like, when he was having those thoughts of, there's something wrong, he could have been like, yo, doctor, there's something wrong, and gotten help. But I know we say that now, but like, there was that chance, and you could see that he thought about doing it. I don't think the situation and the environmental impact could have swayed. Like, he had that thought in his head that he could have gotten helped. Not acting on it.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in his head. I don't know.
So,
yeah, it's a philosophical question that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. It's fascinating. There's books written on it. I've read both sides of the argument a lot. I spent a lot of time in college researching that specific particular topic. It's fascinating shit. Like I said, I just haven't had an argument that has persuaded me to believe that there is.
I just have to believe
but it's
that I
fascinating.
have free will, or it's just gonna be bad.
I ain't here to convince nor not convince you. He asked me a question. I'm just giving you my side of it. But y'all wanna go to voicemails?
Today we've got something truly special for all the renters and landlords out there. Paying rent, it's something we all have to do, and let's be honest, it can sometimes be a bit of a hassle. But what if there was a way to make it all easier, more straightforward, and even beneficial for your financial future? Introducing RentApp, the ultimate tool for renters everywhere. RentApp takes the hassle out of paying rent by depositing your payments directly into your landlord's bank account. No more trips to the ATM, no more mailing checks, and no more managing balances in multiple apps. Just simple, direct transactions that make life easier for both you and your landlord. There are no fees and no weekly limits. That's right, RentApp is completely free for you to use. No need for your landlord to create an account. It's completely free for them too. RentApp is also about helping you build a brighter financial future. By optionally reporting your on-time rent payments to the 3 major credit bureaus, RentApp brings you one step closer to home ownership and helps boost your credit score. So why wait? Head to the App Store and download RentApp today and follow RentApp at RentApp on Instagram and Twitter. And for our listeners, we've got an exclusive deal. Go to rent.app-barstool to get $50 cash back on your first rent payment. And if you're a landlord, go to rent.app-landlord to get paid on time and without hassle. That's rent.app-landlord to get paid on time and without hassle.
All right, so we're gonna go to voicemails now.
Dearest Macrodosing, this is Allie from Chicago, and I need help on how to tell my best friend that her boyfriend sucks. For reference, she is 30. She's not a listener, so don't worry. But she's 30. He's 25. And among other things, like, he just sucks. He does not have a stable job because he's 25. Like, he doesn't have insurance or anything. He does really nothing to provide for himself. She is, moving forward in her career because since she turned 30, she's kind of indicated that she's ready to start settling down, like get married, start a family. And they've been together for about 3 years now, so she's assuming that he's just going to be the one. The problem is, aside from no real career prospects or goals, he is borderline emotionally abusive, and everyone in our collective friend group agrees that they just should not be together. Every time in the past 3 years they've gotten into a fight, we've brought it up like, hey, is this kind of something you want to deal with for the rest of your life? Is this something that you're willing to put up with? And she just doesn't get the hint. She's been my best friend since we were like 7 years old. I'm not willing to give up the friendship, but how do I get it through somebody's thick skull that the person is just not right for them? Appreciate any help, any insight, any guidance. Love you guys. Love the pod. Stay gorgeous.
I love to hear that there's female listeners, by the way. Man,
Me too.
our female listeners
Love
out
you,
there,
babes.
man. I know the male listeners far away, y'all, but I appreciate y'all, man, because this is not like we don't have a lot of like, I guess, interest.
Reason.
Females don't really like it's not, the content. We create a lot of sports, there's a lot of talking shit, whatever. So I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Man.
I love
Thank
you
y'all.
guys.
This guy sounds like a young king who has gotten himself a successful cougar.
Yeah, so if you do the math, so she was 27 and she started dating a 21 or 22-year-old. What is going on there?
Well, no.
No.
She said
Yeah.
she's 30 and he's 25.
Yeah,
so-
but she said they've been dating for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would have been 22 and 27. Same age difference.
I'm just adding that 21 just because he could have been 21. I don't know. Like it's either,
Okay, sure, yeah.
But like dating a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old, like I'm 25 and there is a
I feel
huge
like
difference.
if
between,
it was flipped, if it was a 27-year-old guy and 22-year-old girl, people wouldn't think it's as weird.
No, but a 22-year-old dude is basically like, I mean, I've changed so much since being 21. And I don't know what I'm going to be like when I'm 27. Hopefully have a little more control of my emotions and in combines. But
The ages. So
Yeah, you're getting caught up on the wrong thing, Billy.
Yeah,
No,
we're making a lot of leaps. We don't know this cat, right? All right.
yeah,
well, real quick before you
Go
start.
ahead, go ahead.
The ages don't exactly match up, but I only know one person who doesn't technically have a job and loves older women, and I'm just trying to piece this together. But the ages don't exactly add up.
Oh, please go on, Big T.
He's darker complexion.
Is he handsome?
Damn. Sure.
Pause.
Just got a
pause.
He called me ugly, cuz.
No,
I think
pause.
his new haircut looks amazing.
Yeah, recently got a haircut.
Oh yeah, shout out to my barber, cuz we out here. You know what
Yeah, I
I'm
got a
saying?
haircut.
That's still
you look great.
weird
No,
to look
not
at. You look like you're on the red carpet for draft day.
I know I look so young. Everybody's like, yo, you look so young. And it's
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
God,
thank
he
you.
does look like draft day,
You know,
Arian.
thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I got
I mean,
the
it
reason why I'm
literally
wearing a
is
hat
him,
is I took my hat off. There was years of like me parting it. You know what I'm saying? Because you part it, and so like there's like tan lines, and the hair isn't tamed. So I gotta wear a do rag every day, and I brush it and I put the grease on it. It's gonna 2 weeks. I'll be back.
Oh, we're getting wavy.
I can't. My hair ain't the waviest, but
Oh.
it got a little something in there.
But anyway, I was just trying to piece some stuff together. You go with what you were gonna say.
No, I was gonna say, on a serious note, if this your homegirl since you were 7 years old, there's no reason for you not to express your discontent with their significant other. Like that's your homegirl, right? Now I don't know the depth of like, are y'all in love? Are y'all not? Or are they in love? Are they not in love? And I'm saying like, whatever the case may be, and maybe just inquire about the relationship before we accuse him. Like, hey man, there are some red flags I see as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Because I care about you and your relationships. All right, the job thing, the insurance thing. He's younger. Like, what value does he add to your life to make you want to keep him around? Because it's not just me. A couple of the homegirls were concerned, and like, the emotional abusive thing, especially, right? We don't feel like he treats you the best. I just want to know, like, what is the value that you feel like he adds to your life? And so if you come at it in a way of like requesting information rather than asserting that you know what's best for her, she'll be more susceptible to having an open conversation with you, especially at that age. That's from my vantage point.
Woman to woman, Allie, I think is her name. I have been through this before where my bestie forever, I hated her boyfriend and they were dating for 5 years. And you have to, like, yeah, when something happens in their relationship, you have to just make sure she is seeing it not through rose-colored glasses. Like, you have to be like, do you understand that, like, this could be your life forever if you keep this up? Like, and again, yeah, don't act like you are so above thou that you can't, be helpful, but lead her to the water and hope she drinks is kind of the way I would do it. Like, point out these things, but I don't think you should be like, he sucks, like, be so outwardly mean, because then she will get defensive and cut you off, I believe.
So shut down. We don't know if he'll cut you off, but
shut down is what I meant to say. But lead her to the water. I think you can say things like, how is he ever going to buy you a ring if he doesn't have a job? Little subtle hints, I feel, Mackenzie.
Yeah, I also think she said that he's like emotionally abusive,
Yeah, be
which is like,
babe.
that's that you can just bring right
Right,
up. But
be like,
if
this
you're like,
isn't-
if you're just like, oh, he sucks, that's giving nothing. But if he is like actually like emotionally abusive to her, like,
Yeah.
just be like,
This isn't the way someone loves you would
yeah,
treat you.
Exactly. That's like an
Yeah.
easy thing to just like bring up and be
Yeah.
like, that's not good.
Right, like as like a friend to a friend, like, I love you so much, I would never treat you that way.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
As someone who loves you and has known you for longer than this man, like, I would never want to treat you that way, and I don't want you to be treated that way in your relationship. It's a tough pickle to be in.
It is a weird situation.
Him being 25, her being 30, I I feel for her. I feel bad for
There's
her.
nothing worse, dog, than after you exit a relationship that either ended toxic or just was bad for you in general.
Then all your friends
come out
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, bro, I wanted to tell you.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Tell,
I
what the
hate
fuck,
that.
bro? Tell me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, don't
So
keep
you
all
just
that
wasted
shit
my
inside.
time.
Yeah, and even if like we get into it, you still my dog, right? And so it's like, nah, this is what I want for my life. And be like, all right. And then if it doesn't end bad, you have that receipt, like, hey, fam, I told your ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
did
so
tell you,
true.
I had that comment, and he could be like, you was right. You know what I'm saying? You was right. And then maybe later on, his opinion of your relationships may mean and hold a little bit more merit because you saw what was good and what was bad. So
Mm-hmm.
I say it's always best. Honesty is always the best medicine. Not always, but majority of the time, honesty is the best medicine.
Right. Because there's a difference between like my friend's boyfriend isn't my best friend in the whole world, and like I think he's actively hurting you and being like a bad guy.
You can also, like, to raise it, you can raise questions. Be like, hey, does he share his location with you, like, when he's out? Or does he get weird about it? Like, if you point out toxic, like, things, like ask questions, like...
hold on, man. That might be toxic in general. If you asking for somebody to share their location.
Oh, no, like, for
I
example...
mean, there has to be reasons as to why, though.
Yeah, but, like...
I share my location with everyone.
Yeah, like... actually, today, Arian, everyone shares locations.
Yeah,
What do you
that's like
mean
a
today,
thing.
fam? Like I'm single, fam. What the fuck you mean today?
It's
This
but it's
guy.
like like I mean my generation, like
it's modern dating, Arian. It's pretty.
not
I understand.
no,
No, I got a phone.
No,
too.
just
No, I
like
mean, like,
any
our-
relationships.
like no, like I'm 20, I'm 25, and like I have all my buddies' locations from like group chats. Like just like sometimes you'll do it, like, you know, me and
very aware. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
sharing your location in a relationship can be toxic. It can be toxic.
Yes.
I don't think being in a relationship should be a prerequisite to you sharing your location. Unless you, I mean, that's a
No.
whole.
No, it's more of a.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you actually trust somebody and have a healthy, it's more like a safety thing. Like,
see, that's a slippery slope.
yeah,
That's the whole. Should I give up my rights to protect my country?
I
Be willing to
That's just
sacrifice a little liberty for a little security deserves
There
neither.
you go. Now we talking the same language. But yeah, I'm saying I feel like there are certain instances like, yo, I'm going to this bar. I'll be running a little late. I'm gonna share my location just so you know no funny business going on. I feel like that's healthy, right? And then turn it off when I get back home. I feel like that's a healthy thing, right? But if it's like, yo, like I'm gonna need that location, like that can get weird, dog.
it's one of those things where you don't like if you're asking what if you share your location, it's like, oh, why are you here? Why are you at this guy's house? But like that kind of stuff's toxic. Like, but just.
I
Like
think your
sharing
point
yeah.
more had to do with
trust and
asking.
use questions.
yeah, like
yeah.
you could ask any questions, like
What time does he come home on Fridays?
yeah.
And he's not out with you? Does he like that sort of stuff?
Was that one of the things she said? Because it was a little much. She was saying that he doesn't come home. He comes home late and stuff like that.
No, Billy's just bringing up examples.
I'm just bring up examples of like question, like just sort of point out to her stuff through questions, like, oh, like. Has he ever like? What does he ask you when you guys were like? If they're in a
When's
fight,
he gonna get a job? Like,
Yeah.
is he applying for
Has he-
jobs?
is he looking
like,
for
stuff like
jobs?
that.
I think that can make her defensive though. Hey, when's your man gonna stop being broke, yo? that could be. So I feel like a more general question would be, like, yo, what value do you feel like he adds to your life that I'm not seeing?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so that where it's soft, it lands soft, and it's not accusatory to his personality or his, you know, it's not bringing him down. It's just a general question of like, what value does he add? You know what I mean? And let her explain it to you.
Yeah.
is he actively looking for a job?
That's again.
What's his plan to get a job?
Yeah.
Does
Is
he
he
have a
doing a job?
401k?
Yeah.
What is his Roth IRA situation looking like? These are questions you should be asking.
Are you using his low income to stash more of your money in Roth IRAs?
A backdoor IRA.
Yeah.
I know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not about the stashing money.
It's not. That's not illegal. If you give a gift. Oh shit, is that illegal?
Uh-oh.
if you do what?
Never mind.
All right, next voicemail.
All right, next
Yeah.
one.
Good luck to you, female listener.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
I'm sorry about that.
Start leaving notes like in the Jersey Shore.
Sam.
Honestly, just track your friend's boyfriend and see what he does when he's not out with her and try to find dirt on him.
No.
Right,
I
that's the
think
easiest solution to this problem.
Like, look, you're her
Healthiest
bestie.
non-toxic.
Detective work.
Yep.
You know you've already looked through all of his stuff,
Yeah.
see what pictures he's liking. Just take it in person.
So hire a PI and just
Hire a
Yeah.
PI. No.
This is the way.
Do you be the PI? You do the PI work.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
wild. You
We
gonna
can
get-
do
you
that
gonna-
as girls.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're gonna end
Have
up
me and
dead.
Mackenzie do it.
gotta
Give me
kill this
me
girl.
this man's Instagram. I'll do
Big
some
T's
work.
pretty good at that too.
Yeah, Big T's. Big
Oh,
T's top
I'm
notch.
goated.
Yeah, he
Let's-
is.
Give
Oh my
us
God.
send this man to my DMs. Send his Instagram to us.
Whoa.
We will do some tracking. Don't worry about it.
Macro PI.
Yeah,
It's just Mackenzie and Madley.
I might get him a job out of this.
Hey, this dude is a piece of shit.
Send me his resume. I got you.
We'll find him.
All right, ready for the next one?
Hey, Macrodosing. This is Allie from Minnesota. I need some love advice. So, long story short, I am going to a wedding in a couple of months, and I found out that a guy that we run in the same, we have mutual friends, I guess is the best way to put it. I've seen him in like large group settings, and we kind of hit it off, like the conversation was flowing, but we just never really followed up on it. So now I found out that he is also going to this wedding. And in just like hanging out with the groom, who's a friend from college, I found out when, like roughly what time this guy is flying in, because we all have to travel for the wedding. And in going to book my flight, I realized there's only really one flight at that time. So my question is it weird or like stalkerish behavior to book myself on the same flight that this person is on and kind of try to orchestrate my own little meet cute situation? I feel the need to add, these are normal times for flights. Like, it's still very convenient for me. I'm not, like, taking a red eye for this man. But let me know what you think. Is it weird? Is it creepy? Should I try to just shoot my shot? Let me know what you think. Be gorgeous. Love you guys.
This is a layup.
A two for two girls love advice. I love this.
He's single.
Yeah.
Yes,
If he's single,
I think go for
I don't
it.
see. I don't see.
Yeah,
nothing
it's
wrong
not
with it.
weird at all
You
because
take
she
it
was
out.
like,
I think
she's
you're gonna
not
get
going
there,
out
though.
of her way to
No.
like book a different flight.
And you're gonna see him at the wedding either way. It's not like you're
Right. So this is
Yeah.
just like the
You're-
initial.
the initial.
It's starting.
Yeah.
It's the meet cute.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
if he's not single, this is mad creepy, yo.
No,
But-
but
Yeah.
he is.
But
He's
it's
single.
not really the meet cute because
think
they
it's
do
good.
know each other.
right.
Dude,
She said.
if
But I
she
think
was
this is how their
real-
love story begins.
If she was real as fuck, she'd book the flight. Then, like, if she encounters him before they get on the flight, try to see what seat he's in, book the seat next to him.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope she's flying Southwest. Can
That,
kind of just
now that
shimmy
would be
in.
a little bit too much.
You think?
Yeah.
If like I happen to see my friend on a plane.
Oh
well,
no.
well, I don't know if we're gonna put friend on this.
Dude,
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it depends on how close
close
they
you
are.
are.
honestly, just like reach out to him about the Mile High Club. Like,
No.
could happen.
Look
you know?
really hot on your flight.
Yeah.
Like if you have a Dyson, do a blowout.
Yeah, actually, that
Nah, it's-
that sucks because you never look good on flights.
No, but she has to, because even if you look just okay, you look better than
That's
most
true.
people on a flight. Just look normally good,
And then he'll see you at the wedding. So
and then he'll see you with
This-
yeah, wear
this
something
may
really
be a
good for the
hot
wedding.
take because I don't want to shame women. But in general, from my experience and being a dude and talking to dudes and interacting with a bunch of dudes, most dudes like dress down natural looks anyway.
I'm not saying
over
like go crazy for the flight.
done up. No, I'm saying like the done up shit. I feel like dudes like the dress down chilling in sweats.
that's what
most
that's what
dudes
they
like.
say. But then like boys are like,
sweatpants,
I love when
hair
you-
tied, chilling with no makeup on.
I love when you wear no
Yeah.
makeup.
And it's
but
like, I'm still wearing
we're
makeup,
still
babes.
all wearing makeup.
Yeah.
Nah,
for
you know
sure.
what? Hit the Juicy Couture jumpsuit.
Yes.
Yes, pink hat,
Yep.
glasses.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
don't
work.
wanna do too much
some
on a
s-
flight.
I
though.
love when girls do some say super glowy gel.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. That'll be good.
Yeah, I don't
Good
think
luck
it's
to you.
weird at all for
It's
her to do
definitely,
that.
it's definitely it's ambitious for sure. Yeah. But it's not creepy. I don't think that's kind of cute.
I don't
if
think
it
it's
works out.
creepy.
Oh,
I
it's
think it's just
creepy-
a really a great coincidence.
It's creepy if you've tried him in the past and he's put you down. It's creepy if he's not single. I don't think in any other instance it's creepy. In any other instance, it's kind of cute and it's flattering.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Try to seal the deal on the plane.
No.
No way he turns that down.
Okay.
There's no way you getting on the Mile High Club in a Southwest flight. Ain't no fucking-
We don't know if it's Southwest.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm just saying.
No commercial flight anymore, dude.
My guy said anymore. Like back in my day.
Well, I know. So let me explain. Let me explain
Fucking
that.
9/11.
Let me explain
Oh
that.
my God, Billy.
Jesus, Billy.
Yeah, I
That's
told him
it.
he
That was a
filter.
hangover
It's
callback.
That was a
right?
hangover.
Oh,
That
okay.
was a hangover.
No,
callback.
let me explain what I meant. I don't understand how anyone could ever do that on a commercial flight. I go into the bathroom on the rare occasions that I've ever had to pee that bad that I am willing to do it on a plane, and I can't even go in there. The fact
They're
that
small,
people
yeah.
have allegedly had sex on planes
Allegedly.
is outrageous.
So
I never go to the bathroom on a plane.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've only done one. I've never done two on a plane. I refuse. I will shit myself.
I wouldn't even know
Shit myself.
like
But-
what
You
you
ever-
would do.
you
I
ever-
do agree. I don't
Dude.
believe that there's a lot of room to get that done on a plane. I'm thinking because I'm not in the Mile High Club, but I have had some fun on a plane before, but I'm not in the Mile High Club.
Well,
Not enough room.
hang on.
Wait.
What does that mean?
This sounds like private.
It means, you know,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It means no. I've done nothing. I don't like flying private. There's small planes, and the turbulence there fucks with me, bro. Never. I hate
Like
it.
95% of plane accidents are in private planes.
Really?
Yeah.
One-
Yeah.
Commercial. I think
Commercial
it's even-
planes don't
I think it's higher
crash.
than that. The commercial. Yeah,
probably
it's-
is.
Dude, small
safer than-
planes.
It's safer than driving. It's the commercial flights are extremely safe. But say what I had to say. I've had some fun meeting some it's been some fondling. Stuff like that, under the covers, late night, whatever it could be. It's fun. Nothing crazy though. Nothing crazy. Just some fun stuff. But I think those kind of mile high that happens like on red eyes on planes that aren't filled. Because I've been on planes before where like you got the whole row to yourself and it's like 100 people on there. Like everybody has a row to themselves and everybody's sleeping. I can see how you can get it in on one of those flights. I've never done it, but like I can see is a potential. But like you're right, on a commercial regular, it's 3 p.m. We going to Chicago to Minneapolis or whatever. No, hell no, you ain't getting it in on that.
Speaking of having rows to yourself, do you want to teed off from 4 years ago?
Yeah, man.
This is
This is before the pause. The first. This is
Yes.
the first teed off.
Yeah, so this is actually the original teed off. I've never been more mad at an individual than at this flight attendant. I flew from New York. So the day like all the sports leagues shut down for COVID, we were all in the Barstool office kind of like, what's going to happen? And so everybody was kind of like, okay, we're probably not going to be here for a week or two. So I went home to Nashville. Turns out that ended up being 4 months, however long it was.
Damn. Yeah.
So I think I went that day or the next day I flew from New York to Nashville. I was on a United flight. There were 4 people on the plane. I was on United, there's first class, then there's economy plus that has like extra legroom, and then there's regular economy. For whatever reason, I think because I was pretty broke at the time, I booked regular economy. Again, 4 people on this plane, so I go ahead and sit in economy plus. Not even first class, just the tiny bit of extra legroom. Flight attendant came up to me and said, "Is this your seat?" And I was like, "Well, no, but who gives a shit?" And she was like, "You have to sit in your assigned seat." I said, "Surely you're kidding." She said no. And made me go back and sit in the seat that I was ticketed. And I was almost dragged off the plane. I could not have been more pissed. And I'm still mad about it. So this was 4 years ago.
That is crazy. Like the whole
Yeah,
plane
that's
was
actually pretty
boarded
bad.
and like
Yep.
no one was sitting there.
No, when we landed in Nashville, there were 4 people.
That's crazy. Was anyone
So
sitting
did,
next
did
to
you
you
try
on
to
your-
move like during
no.
the flight?
But still.
No, I figured they would fucking get pissed about it again.
So like there was no rationale. Like ma'am, there's nobody. On the
I was like, I literally asked her. I said, "Are you being serious?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was sure she was kidding.
What's her explanation that it was like an upgrade of a seat technically?
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's insane.
and I was beside myself.
See, that's an instance in where I never understood that kind of shit. Like where you as a worker are defending a multi-billion.
Oh yeah, did a great
dollar
job. Listen, I'll
corporation.
be with you on this one. Yeah,
Yeah, like you are defending a multi-billion-dollar corporation who doesn't give a shit about you, who will cut your benefits with the quickness, and here you are banging for them. For no
There were
reason. I hate
4.
that
I'm
shit.
not. That's a real number. That's not an exaggeration. 4
Nah.
people on the plane.
I bet she has halitosis. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's crazy, man.
I'm still mad about it. I'm mad
Yeah,
right
fuck
now.
That lady. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
that
that's
lady. That's insane.
wild.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy I saw on a flight once? Is this okay? A couple aggressively making out on a flight. Okay or not okay?
No.
It was
I don't bother
mad
me none.
weird.
What'd you say?
I don't bother me none.
And there was a guy sitting next to them.
Yeah, like if you were sitting next to him, you wouldn't care.
Not really.
That's
no.
crazy.
But what does it got to do with me?
That's just weird.
How?
If
Who
2
cares?
people were making out for like 30 minutes directly next to you, shoulder to
I'm
shoulder.
not saying I would do that because I understand the social ramifications. But like, if they were to do that, I wouldn't be like. Honestly, I feel so indifferent about it. I'm dead ass serious. It just doesn't
That's
bother me.
wild.
Like I would just like put on my headphones. It is what it is. Do your thing, man.
I would agree if it was a park bench that they were like making out in public, like weird, like go home.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
On a plane is why people have
Yeah.
gotten way too comfortable on planes.
yeah.
It's love. If they're in love, like
You can love each other when you land in fucking
I don't know, man.
Sarasota.
Have you ever been
okay?
in love to the point where you feel like the world stops and nothing else exists but you two people? It is the most beautiful experience that I've ever experienced, right? If somebody else is feeling that, man, I'm jealous.
Feel
I'm
it
happy
in
for
Detroit when you get there. You don't feel it in 32C.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I can understand the frustration, but
All right, let me ask you this. People bring like a Tupperware container of like hot food onto a plane.
Oh, yeah, you asked me this. I don't bother me
Crazy.
either, bro.
That's crazy.
I did that recently.
I believe that.
But I ate it really quickly. I ate it really quickly because I knew it was obnoxious. And
What was it?
it was a steak sandwich.
Oh,
I don't think that's enough.
That's not good, but that's
it's
not
crazy.
it's not a burrito and 2
egregious.
sodas.
In the land of freedom, Big T, you should be for this.
I would never bring something smelly on a plane, but I was leaving work and I had to get to the plane and I didn't have time to eat dinner and I was so hungry and I just had to get it and I didn't have time to eat it in the terminal and I hopped on there, ate it really fast and then put it back and put everything in the bag and like put it under the seat to make sure it didn't smell and I threw it out as soon as the person came with the trash. Is that
That a steak sandwich is not the most egregious thing that you could have eaten.
Also, I do think, now hear me out, the airplane vents, and the only reason I'm talking about this is because it was a big thing in COVID, they cycle the air and get bad smelling particulates out pretty fast. So, yeah. Because that's how particulates, I think the particulates is what makes smells happen. Because it's your nose tasting tiny particulates.
I don't know.
Okay, Arian, one more. Person next to you takes their shoes off.
I take my shoes off all the time.
On a plane?
Because I wear slides. You want me to just keep my slides on?
Wait, so are you wearing slides and socks?
Yeah.
Socks is okay.
But, well, that's no different than if you were wearing tennis shoes and socks and you took your shoes off.
I agree. Like, why do you not want people to be comfortable and happy and in love, bro? I don't understand.
So your ideal plane sitting next to you is a couple making out with
you doing way too
with
much.
fucking beef stroganoff and their shoes off.
Well, one, I'd be in first class, so there's only 2 seats. So if the couple, they'd have to be in front of me or back of me. 2, I don't listen. When I say like most shit doesn't bother me, I mean it. And the only reason why is because it's like I can empathize with that person being comfortable in that moment. There are times where I've wanted to be comfortable in a moment where, so like, I don't think you should have to wear your shoes on a 6-hour flight. Nah, bro, get comfortable, fam. Like we all on this together. Like, do I think you should take your socks off and rub your feet against the seat? Like, no, that's there. I feel like there are, some nuances here, but for the most part, be comfortable. Like I've smelled beef stroganoff before. I've smelled foods I don't like before. I'll live. I'll be fine. You enjoy that meal, dog. It's not gonna last the whole flight.
That's crazy.
I'll be fine.
That's crazy.
It
I'm
depends
just-
on how
I'm a
offensive
easygoing
the
cat,
food
bro.
is.
I'm an easygoing cat, bro. I think. So hold on, you get mad when people get plain food?
What do you mean by plain food?
Food that comes from the plane. Order a meal on the plane.
Well, no, if you're on a flight that is long enough that you need that, that's different. But like people bringing like a Tupperware container from home with like food, I think that's crazy.
I don't know. I think you just have a problem with people, which I do too. But in this instance, I don't. I think you should want people to be comfortable, happy, and in love. It makes
No,
for a
people are
better
too
society.
comfortable. That's a problem with this society. Too comfortable.
Nah, I'm okay with comfort,
Hard
man.
men make soft times make soft men make hard times.
I broke Obama's face.
We're in the third.
I hear you, man. Hey, if you in love, do your thing next to me. If you in love, park that shit next to Big T. Is what it is. We don't fuck with love on that side. Is what it is.
Yeah, listen, you're more power to you.
Yeah, I'm actually a loving human being, man. I really love and enjoy humans. I just don't think it's reciprocated, so I'll be on the defense a lot. But it's another conversation.
Hey, y'all. My name is Ethan, calling in from Denver, Colorado. You originally from Philly, but I just got done listening to your part of the show where you were talking about how you feel like a loss when you move on in life when you stop playing football. And that really hit me because I'm a military veteran, and I feel like a lot of us feel that same way too. Like, you know, that was a huge part of your life. What do you do once you move on? You're still young, so what are you going to do? So anyway, I appreciate y'all talking about that and being open about it. Really, really helps out a lot. But that had me thinking, what other type of job qualities do you think that y'all have from podcasting now would you put on your resume if, God forbid, you had to find another job? Obviously you won't. This is the #1 podcast in the world. But I'm just thinking, like, if you had to, what would be your top skills that you have from the Macrodosing podcast that you want the world to know and that you feel confident that will land you a dream job? Anyway, thanks, y'all. Stay beautiful. Stay handsome. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, so I saw the only thing I heard was if you could get another job, what skill set would you put on you? What did you say before that?
What has macrodosing given you that you could put on a resume to get a different job with?
Well, he also
Also,
That was
said
the second part. What was the first part?
he also said that he was in the military, and a lot of military people feel similarly to what you said about when you stopped playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
Yeah.
really sweet.
That was really
Yeah,
sweet.
shout out
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, shout out to that because it's a real thing. People go through that shit, man. The death
Thank you
of
for
a
your
dream.
service.
Thank you for your service, but it's kind of funny. It's like the reverse trying to.
Did you filter this? Did you filter this before you say it?
It's like a military guy trying to steal football valor.
No.
See what I'm saying?
You didn't
Yeah,
filter it.
see,
I knew it. I
and he
knew it.
gave you a
I knew it.
chance.
I'm
He
not
gave you a
it's
chance
just
to
it's
not
a funny.
say
I knew it.
No, but it's
I
funny.
knew it.
Like no, it's funny
it.
because like most
I
people
knew
like
it.
yo football is
knew
like
it.
the military, and then it's like
You?
yeah, it's me. It's the opposite. I was making fun of myself. Was what I was saying.
Mhm.
It was making fun of
Anyway,
myself.
what could we? I don't know.
I have an answer.
I've never filled out a resume.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Damn.
We should make you one.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
We should make you a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm down with that
Yeah.
too.
What was your major in college? Philosophy?
philosophy? Yeah, philosophy.
Okay. Well.
There's a lot of
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my nephew just got a job, right? And so like we had a group chat and they was all talking about putting this in his resume, and I was like, I don't know what to put on the resume.
What was
I remember we had classes of like how to make a resume, and I did it like when I was in high school or something like that. But I've never had to actually do it.
Let me
What was your GPA? Do you remember?
pull up my old resume.
Oh, I think when I graduated high school, it was 3.1, but it wasn't that early. I had to take summer classes and stuff to change that. But like, so
What about
I
at
think I graduated-
Tennessee?
Oh, 2 point something. Could not care less about that shit.
Did you have a plan of like getting a job if you weren't able to play in the NFL?
No, and That was not a good thing, but at the time I thought it was great. I have on one of my, I think it was like I had like a 30 for 30 ESPN something, whatever. I don't think it's a 30 for 30. What was it called? I don't know, 360. One of those. I have like this thing where I was when I was in the league, I went back to my high school and I'm telling all these kids like, yo, you should go dream and you should only have one dream and sell it all and just die for that shit. You got to be able to die for that shit. And it's just the most irresponsible thing I could tell a gym full of high school students.
You probably
But at
talked
the
to that
time,
25-year-old who can't get a job.
Yeah, well, there was
Follow my
Well,
dream.
it's bad. Yeah, that's horrible, right? So it's like if I could have that same group and I was have that same conversation, I'd be like, you need a plan A, you need a plan B, you need a plan C and a D. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be responsible about your future rather than selling it all on a dream. Now, it worked for me, but the odds of that happening are 0.01%. So I happened to be in that 0.01%, which was cool, but it just wasn't very smart. But I look smart in the end, right? But I didn't have a backup plan.
I think there is, I'm not saying don't have a backup plan because you should, but I think there is something to like burning the boats and being like, if you want this badly enough, you will do what it takes to make it happen.
Yes, but I think you have to be realistic with yourself. I was like, when I look back at myself and I'm realistic with myself, I had the natural ability or what seemed like the natural ability. Okay. So I was this much better than everybody else around me, right? I was way ahead of that. Right. So off rip, I'm ahead of the curve. I had a father who taught me how to work, how to run hills. So I'm 12 years old, running hills. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing things at that age that just are not normal. Right. So I had incentive from my upbringing to burn the boats, but most people can't look at themselves realistically and say, okay, where am I at realistically? Like I talk to people my age, right, who are trying to figure it out. Like, look, where are you at? I talk about this with people with finances all the time, right? Because finances is like a really taboo topic. And so when people are talking about their finances, I'm like, yo, you got to be honest about where you at. If you have $3,000 in your bank account, that's how much you have in your bank account. Don't front, don't lie. That's where we at. And if this is where we at, we know what we need to do to get to where we want to go, right? But you got to be honest with yourself. I think a lot of people can't have that honest conversation with themselves. Like, this is where I'm at. This is where I need to go. And this is the steps I need to take in order to get to where I want to go. And in my particular case, it's just rare that shit happens. So I think you can still work with the same amount of rigor, but also have a fail safe and a safety net. I think both things are possible. Yeah.
To answer the question, though, I was going to say being able to get along and talk to very different types of people who think differently than you. Well, he said, what from macrodosing could you say would be a skill in a different job?
Oh, a skill. Honestly, I've hung around a lot of white people, but never in this much capacity. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. So, like,
are we the white people you've talked to the most in your whole life?
Oh, yes, by far. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a Mexican homeboy. I have white friends, but like, I talk to y'all 3 hours twice a week over the 3-year period. That's a long ass time.
I'm gonna get a banner over here that says Arian Foster top 5 white people of all time. I'm gonna put it right there next between his jersey and Aaron.
Have I been the most black?
Yeah, probably.
That y'all talk to? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
who? Oh, you got a homeboy though, right?
I have a couple. I have teammates. 3 years.
But I've had white teammates, but this is okay. Let's say we're talking about.
I talk to you guys more than most people I know. Period.
That's what I'm saying. So like in college, like, well, I have teammates and stuff, but because I'm interacting with doesn't mean necessarily I talk to them in depth. In like, I mean, we talk about politics, religion, space, love, everything. Like, I know y'all better than most people probably know you, and y'all know me probably better than most people know me, right? Because we spend so much time together. I can't say every white person I've interacted with, or black in general, but for the sake of this conversation, like, in general. Like I just don't. You don't talk to people in depth like that on a day-to-day basis, even in like your acquaintances. So it's like, yeah, the homies.
That's actually the better of being one of Arian's top 5 white people. It's if somebody ever says, "Oh, I have a black friend," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, my black friend, Arian Foster."
Yeah.
And I'm in his. Top
And he
5
said,
white
"I'm one of his top 5 white people." So
I'm in the top 5.
I am gonna get a banner printed with that. I'm looking into that right now.
That is hilarious.
Arian Foster's top 5 white people.
Yeah.
That shit's funny, man.
Billy, what have you gained that you could put on a resume from this show?
Is it? Did you say from the show? I just pulled up my
Yes.
resume from the last time I applied to jobs, and that just really stressed me out.
Yeah, he said from this show.
From this show, probably research. Just like, I don't know. I definitely would have to format it differently, but besides people skills, which we touched on, like probably researching in-depth topics and trying to put things. It's more just taking notes for myself. Taking notes from the internet.
Good. I think also you guys have built a brand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at you, Maddie, coming in with the zinger. You ain't lying.
Yeah. Me and Mackenzie have like real jobs that like
Barely.
that like yeah like I feel like that's a bit of a different vibe. Like
Yeah, y'all do like
This
the
exists.
actual grunt work, right?
yeah, I don't want to say it like it's grunt work, but like Mackenzie and I have like more desk jobs than you guys have.
Right.
So like I have a resume, but yeah,
And
like
grunt
you
work
guys.
probably- it's like y'all do the behind the scenes things that make it go.
Yeah, that's how I'd like to put it. Yeah, but like you guys have a completely different set of skills. Like you guys you can build a brand, you can build an audience, you can, Arian, you can say you can have developed an idea from the get-go and executed it.
Nice, yeah.
Leadership. What else? I'm trying to think of
This is
things
all
that go on
flattering
resumes.
shit.
Puzzles.
Puzzles.
Well, we haven't.
Well,
done
not
it
yet.
yet.
I
Don't
should
put
have
that
been
on there.
working on the edge from the jump. I've
Billy
been doing
is-
I
faces.
literally told you to do that.
I know.
Billy
but
is conversational
was
in
hard-
puzzles.
I was. No, actually, you know what? The faces were easier.
I feel like finding edge pieces should be your number one thing. No, doesn't that?
I
how people
know.
do puzzles? You,
The-
you do the border.
Thing is, I was also trying to. Once this ends, I'm gonna really just start going hard.
That's what you should have been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you guys, like, in terms of resume things, you have social media proficiency. I would say most of you, all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the podcast industry is growing, and not many people have experience in it, so that's something.
Billy's an editor now.
Billy is also an editor.
That was
No,
funny,
I
man.
feel like you guys have like you can, again, you have to kind of tweak how they would be said, but there are a lot of skills, I feel.
That'd be fun to have everybody make a resume and then
I'll
post it.
pull mine up. My LinkedIn is
I need to update my
Great.
LinkedIn.
It go brazy.
yeah,
Say go brazy, Maddie. Say it goes brazy.
it goes brazy.
Funny. Well-
yeah.
All right, man. This has been a fun one, man. We had a whole intervention with Billy that's not gonna make the cut, but it was fun to talk about that stuff and all the rest of this stuff. If anybody got anything else, y'all good? We good?
It wasn't an actual intervention. We were just talking through. Don't
Don't make me get the security footage.
Yeah.
No.
I owe you one anyway, dog.
I'll pull it for you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
All right,
It's all
top
good.
5 on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Top five.
Top five.
All right. See y'all later. Peace.
See ya.
Like,
Later.
subscribe.
Bye.